absolutely realistic ban now.
Smokes, shotgun, obviously his ability, or maybe even a Dockerby ban. She flips and flops a little bit, but in terms of popularity, but always still possible. But I think that we have got all the players in the lobby, and we are going to be starting up the game right now. So I have a little note from the production that they are working on the echo as well. I do believe there's a bit of an echo coming through to the Twitch chat, which is unfortunate, but they are getting their way. They are trying to figure that out. So apologies for that for the short time, but it shouldn't last too long. Jumping straight into the operator bans now. Vitality there, wasting no time. It looks as though they've pretty much already decided what they want to take out of the board, and it's going to be a Maverick.
Not too much of a surprise. Maverick, extremely powerful on Clubhouse, as we know. It is generally one of the only maps that we're seeing banned out on now, to be fair. And then, Supremacy coming in with the Montagna ban. I think that's pretty targeted towards that dirt tunnel approach there, X.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that it is a popular strategy to try and use the Monty to brute force your way through on Clubhouse. We're going to see a Clash ban. Clash seems a little bit of a strange ban there. Clash isn't really in the meta at the moment. She's seen quite a heavy nerf. Arguably not in a bad place, because I think when she came out she was maybe a little bit too strong. But not often that you see a ban wasted on a Clash and leave something like a Maestro or a Mirror still on the table.
And then Echo coming in as that final ban. And I don't think that's too much of a surprise. That's one that we see quite a high percentage of picks go towards the Echo. He's just so powerful. Now that he's got the 2 Yokai drones, the plant denial there is really extreme. So, yeah, I'd agree with you there, X. The only surprise that I've got coming into that is that Clash ban, really, to be honest. Like you said, not really in the meta at the minute. But that being said, Clubhouse is one of the places that she can be useful. If you put her into Garage, potentially thinking about a CCTV hold, she can do some work there. Although the angles that can be opened up if the wall gets open can make it quite difficult to cover her back there. So possibly more useful operators that could have been taken out of the mix there.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've pretty much covered it there, but having a Mirror on the board is going to be pretty strong, although Mirror is not going to be chosen for this first defensive location from Team Vitality. They're going to be going downstairs and not taking the Mirror. So it's not something that's also unusual. Obviously, with Mirror's ban rate, we've been seeing teams have to get a little bit more creative or go back to previous strats and the way that the game was played before Mirror was out, maybe, in terms of how they're going to defend or hold certain points of the map. So looks like Team Vitality are just putting their hands up and saying, look, Mirror's on the board, but we don't actually need her. We're confident in what we've got. Although, bringing the alibi, I'm not questioning it. I've not seen what it's going to be used for just yet. Usually Alibi is quite a good operator to deny windows and doorways. Obviously, you've got to destroy the Alibi or risk going through it and being pinged for a couple of seconds. So that tends to be a main use for an Alibi, or in the final few seconds when pre-fires are maybe coming out and the attacking team shoot it, then they get exposed and pinged again. But it's not a very harsh ping. So it'll be interesting to see how the Alibi plays out there. But Zephyr taking a pretty aggressive stance on the top of those blue stairs to head things off as the push comes in from Supremacy. Pretty focused on that side.
Yep, definitely looking like a strong Garage and blue push here. They're going to look to move in, no doubt, and put that Hibana for Diju to work and start opening up the hatches. We've got IQ on, Tactis on IQ there, already moving in, just trying to get and showing one of the actual flaws of IQ there, just moving very tentatively, trying to clear out that Elemine. But sometimes that scanner can see the electronics, just can't really do too much about them. So Tactis, I think, just managing to move himself around there, but we're going to see the first kill as Aprox moves in and gets the headshot onto Tactis, taking that IQ off the board. And now that IQ is, a gadget that can be useful far into the round, and it looks like Diju is just going to have a come in together with Aprox as well, and will get some damage put down there, but Aprox lives to fight another day and is just going to move away. He's got that rotation to allow himself out onto the cache stairs and back down to safety if needs be, but as a roamer, he's just going to be looking to waste as much time as he can. But Diju Diju, it looks like, has almost predicted that movement and sort of gone to the bottom of stairs. But that said, Esports is just going to hold himself back. Now, I've got a bit of a concern here that they're not really dealing with Esports, and they really need to be thinking about what his location is, because they leave him. He's upstairs. You've also got the alibi up there. We've got 2 on a top floor roam and nothing really being done about this from Supremacy. They're obviously still aware of it. Diju's looking towards that location. He's going to trade some shots up there, but if they do not get up there and deal with these operators, they really are risking a late flank here.
Yeah, absolutely. And the clock is ticking down. We're well into the final minute of the round now. Legion and Smoke still on the board. I think Valkyrie may even have a Nitro cell as well. So that's going to be absolutely huge in terms of denial at this late stage. Like you say, the Roamers just have not been dealt with very effectively at all. Alive at the bottom of main stairs at the double door, just deciding which angle he's going to push in. We've got DG there. He's going to make his way into Memorial and get cut off by one of the toxic bays from Smoke as a hatch in Kitchen gets opened as well. So still got a lot of players on the board. Ash has rushed in there and made away into Church, but the kill is going to be picked up there by Brid as he chucks out another toxic bay just to keep Supremacy at bay. 2 quick kills in quick succession, leading us into a 1 versus 5. It's all down to Diju. He is one of the guys that the officer said was going to be good in a clutch situation. Is he going to be able to prove himself here? I don't think he's got the diffuser in hand, and he's going to pick up another one, but unable to close out the round. Vitality do a great job of winning that round, wasted a lot of time early on, and ultimately there was not really much of a response for the late roam.
Yeah, I think that's something that, that we both picked up on throughout that. There was no real attempt at a roam clear from Supremacy there, and that is something that they're going to have to change up very, very quickly if they want to see any success on Clubhouse. We all know that since the map was reworked and the new construction area was input, allowing that movement throughout the top floor, it really has become a much more sort of roamer's paradise. It's not quite there. It's not, it's not bank, but it's definitely one that the roamers can have a little bit of a field day on, especially with a few strategic rotations, like the one that we saw opened up at the top of Cash Stairs there. So Supremacy, just, I think, far too slow in their attack there, and just a failure to deal with those off-site operators has really cost them there.
Yeah, definitely. You can't ignore players playing off-site in that scenario, like you say, with the connection upstairs now in Clubhouse, and the cash room construction and the master bedroom are all connected together. It does make roaming a little bit more comfortable up there, and it does afford the attackers a little bit more the defenders a little bit more flexibility in what they're trying to do. So I'm sure that that's going to put Supremacy off to, maybe not the best start that they were hoping for. Be interesting to see how they can change things up now. You're going to see 2 hard breaches being brought, which isn't all too unusual really on Clubhouse. There's quite a lot that can be opened, especially for a CCTV defense. Obviously, you're going to be able to open the double wall that goes out onto the balcony, and of course construction, or maybe even garage if you do so get up there, although that is a little bit more uncommon. But it'd be all interesting to see how the Bandit is dealt with in this scenario, because as we know, Bandit can be pretty powerful in keeping people out and making sure that walls. Bandit tricks. Prox is going to pick up an early kill, but doesn't quite manage to pick up the double as Alive trades it straight back out. So that's going to be Sledge off the board straight away. Not a lot of utility been used there from Sledge, and it is going to remove some grenades, which can be useful for trying to push Bandit out of that Bandit tricking position.
Great trade there. That's exactly what Supremacy needs to be doing. If you're going to rush into the building like that, I can't imagine that was thoroughly drawn. So, again, I don't just want to keep picking up on mistakes, but they really should be knowing before they enter a building so aggressively that a prox is there. That said, it was still, a good trade. Get the second man in behind him, and you've got to pick up that kill and make it 1-for-1. So we're currently in a 4 versus 4, and as X rightly said, they're going to start putting those hard breaches to work now as the Hibana of Diju just gets into the construction area there and starts opening up that wall into Cash, and that's just going to allow some flexibility on the attack there. The Maestro cam will pick up the Supremacy player approaching the garage from the door though, and they do still have a man for Vitality up on the catwalk, but Diju will get the kill onto Qual through that hole that he's opened up there. That's great players, but Zephyr is doing some work on the pulse scanner now. He needs to be relaying this back to his team, but it looks again like Diju has heard him underneath and is just going to sit there and be waiting for him to approach. Spark getting the kill, however, onto Alive, squaring things up and bringing us back to 3 versus 3. That Maestro LMG, the Aldo, just being put to work there. We all know how powerful a gun, but Diju comes in and gets his second onto Zephyr, so that will take the pulse off the board and leave us in a 3 versus 2, getting into the last minute.
Unfortunate play there for Zephyr. I think he even threw his nitro cell and didn't actually detonate it on the Blackbeard, but the push is going to come through now. Spark's going to melt through Tactis there. Head shield or no head shield on the Blackbeard. That is not going to matter for the Alder. It's a fantastic weapon, and it does manage to pick up that kill, bringing us into a 2 versus 2. We've got the Hard Breaches versus a Maestro and a Smoke. Spark's going to pick up another one onto Anthrax, so it's going to be all down to Diju finding himself in a clutch position. Again, he gets the first down, converts it into a kill. He's not got the diffuser again, but he's got a good idea of where the final player is playing. But I think that Spark's going to be able to lie down and just pick up that final kill. Spark playing a fantastic game just from that garage catwalk, picking up plenty of kills for his team, although it did come down to DG once again in that clutch situation, but he just didn't quite manage it this time.
How about that from Spark? Really impressive. 4K there to keep his team in it. And those kills just really well punctuating the round. Every time Vitality just seemed to drop behind, up step Spark, onto that LMG and just use the Alder to its full potential. We all know it's it's getting towards being one of the best guns in the game. I know that they've nerfed the recoil lately, but we still see this time after time. Such a big mag. Spark coming out 5-0 so far, really making moves for his team at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't doubt that at all. You can't question it. You're going to see him there switch on to the Jaeger, and sometimes that's why the Maestro is handy to ban out, purely because you've not only got the utility and the Evil Eyes, but you're also taking away that weapon. How many times do you see Maestros able to clutch those situations? You've got 80 bullets in the magazine. You've got more than enough ammo to take down the whole team. So you're able to, not have to waste time reloading. You're able to position yourself quite well. And it just goes to show that when you put a decent player like Spark on the other end of that, what is possible. So, really good game for him thus far. As you said, 5-0. Not even got a death on the board just yet. But we're going to see a slightly different bomb site this time. We're going to be going upstairs into master bedroom and gym. And, at the minute, it does look as though Vitality can't put a foot wrong.
Yeah, now that we're on to the 2-round rotation parameter, again, another one for CCS that we've updated this season, I think. It just means that teams have to have that third viable site. They can't just come in and rely on bouncing in between their 2 favourite sites. And I honestly think, in terms of Siege competitive play, that is one of the biggest changes and probably the most important that we've seen recently, because it's not only forcing the players to think differently, it's also forcing the devs to work. And, I'm not saying they don't work, don't quote me on that one, but it's just forcing them to ensure that they've got those viable sites on each map now that teams have to use 3. So we can see that gym and bedroom is the third choice. Qual just getting that deployable shield and the castle barricade in place there, so that tells you how much stress they put in on that jacuzzi wall and keeping it shut. But utility has been expended and that door is going to get open. So K6 on the sledge now looking to move in there with the thermite as well. And we've also seen the smoke of Zephyr taken off the board. That is a great early kill. Prox from Vitality just getting the kill onto Alive though and bringing us back to a 4 versus 4. He's taken some damage, but again, he's not being controlled on the roam. And this is something that we've seen Vitality do in these first 2 rounds so far. Every time they lose a man, Supremacy fail to capitalise. They don't move in and get the second and the third and get themselves the man advantage. Vitality always manage to sort of hang on to the coattails and just keep themselves plugging along and keep things even. With 4 versus 4 here, the jacuzzi wall has been opened, but I'm just feeling like this attack is stalling out just a little bit because Bandit and Pulse so far not really being dealt with on the roam.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at the site control that they've got at the moment at Supremacy. They've got quite a bit of control up there, but they've still got players unaccounted for. They've got players loose on the roam, which aren't being dealt with, and they're ultimately just wasting a lot of time, and they're not allowing Supremacy to be able to make a push further. We've got a Prox now on the stairs, just going to be holding the wrong side of the angle. DG there going to pick up another kill. DG's doing great work for his team, and I think the scoreline isn't really reflective of his performance, but the diffuser's going to go down in Jim, and surely this has got to be the first round on the board for Supremacy. 2 quick kills coming back to back. Anthrax and K6 each picking one up. Brid there picking up a fantastic kill through the window, but pre-firing away, doesn't quite manage to pick up those last 2. K6 there going to close it out for his team. Much better round from Supremacy. They took a lot of control early on and ultimately didn't deal with the roamers because they didn't have to. They were able to get the plant down and then deal with the roamers as they tried to come back upstairs and retake. So Vitality there maybe falling foul of roaming a little bit too heavily and giving up a little bit too much site control, but I don't think that it'll worry them all too much. I don't think that Gym and Bedroom is, the best bomb site to defend at the moment on this map, and they're going to be going straight back down to Church, where they did so well in the first round.
Yeah, as you say, you've got to accept that coming into that third round, it is your third choice site there, especially when you've come in and won the first 2. So I would say, yeah, Vitality probably not rocked too heavily by that, but I think you're right there, X. They've had a lot of success on the roam so far. It's something that we've commented on, and they maybe just got themselves a little bit too deep into the roam there for that site, because it just enabled Supremacy to get the 1 or 2 kills onto site, like you say, gain some control there, and then it's just about flank watching and holding those positions as those roamers try to return to site. So as with Siege, with everything in Siege, it's always trying to strike a balance and just make sure that you're not sort of applying too much pressure in any single location too much. You have to be aware of your flank at all times. So Vitality here back down to Church and Arsenal. We saw a fantastic defence of this, I'd say. It was they ran over Supremacy pretty roughshod, I think it's fair to say, in the first round. So we're going to have to see what Supremacy do differently. If you remember back in the first round, X, they came in through Garage and Blue. They really tried to do that. They got in, they opened the bar hatch. They just didn't deal with Spark, and I want to say that it was a Prox upstairs. We can see both of those operators up there again, I think, with the Legion and the Alibi. So they're going to be looking to do much the same thing. I know they've just had some success ignoring the roam on that last round, but I think Church is a little bit of a different beast, and I think it's much more difficult to root the operators out of sight in this case. So I think they're really going to have to think about a top floor roam clear this time, Supremacy, or attack elsewhere.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be pushing the tunnel pretty heavily. DG there getting a good little entry kill onto Zephyr. So that's Ella off the board. Ella, obviously, quite a bit of utility that would maybe still be useful. Some Grismot mines perhaps in the back pocket. And that's going to be a really good early kill for Supremacy, especially coming off a round win. They're really going to want to capitalise on this now, as we've got Alive, hoping to stay alive, pushing down into Blue with K6. Doing some pretty thorough drone work ahead of him, just making sure there's going to be no Grismot mines there that are going to catch him out. But we have got a player playing behind the box just in the tunnel. I think that is going to be Smoke, and I'm not sure that Alive is going to be all too aware. Tactics is certainly going to come up against him, but Brid has got the shotgun in hand. This shotgun is devastating at close range. You can see there it melts the shield in one and gets the body shot, but Alive trades the kill, but not before. Qual gets the trade straight back, so that's going to lead us even man count, 3 versus 3. And I think it was a good push there from Supremacy, but they didn't have anything backing Ash up any further. Spark's going to pick up that kill onto Diju as he is still upstairs, and we've got Anthrax picking up the kill onto Valkyrie. So Anthrax is going to be making his way into side, but Prox is on his tail, and Prox isn't quite going to manage to pick up that kill. And I've no idea how Anthrax didn't get that there. That looked like a kill for Thermite all day. K6 going to be the last one alive. 1 versus 2 situation. Over a minute left on the clock. But the diffuser is down in Church. This is going to be a very difficult situation for K6 to deal with. He knows that he's got Spark on the Alibi just to the left-hand side of that window. And you can see there a Prox getting plenty of goo mines down on that diffuser. K6 is going to have to go for kills in this scenario. But I don't think the Vitality are going to give it to him too easily. He's going to be playing the hatch upstairs in stock, but Spark is ready and waiting. But K6 there does manage to pick up the first kill, so he's done a fantastic job there. He's got plenty of time left on the clock. Takes out the cam, realizes he's going to probably have to turn back and go the other way down blue. Aprox there, just dumping all the goo mines that he can in and around that diffuser. But K6 has got a drone left in this scenario, so he is going to be able to go and find out a little bit of information for himself, and maybe get a little shock drone, shock charge in there for about 10 or 8 health if he does so wish, but he doesn't choose to. He's going to play this sensibly, although Aprox is pushing up where he doesn't really have to. In K6, he's going to pick up that final kill. Fantastic kill there from K6. There's no way on earth he could have or should have won that round. But he did manage to pull it off, and that just goes to show that if you break those down into little 1v1 engagements and you play it a little bit slower, Aprox just got a little bit impatient there. He didn't really have to do anything. He had a lot of audio cues. If the diffuser was going to get picked up, he probably wouldn't have been able to get the diffuser down because of how many goo mines were in and around it. So that's going to be a bit of a throw from Vitality.
Definite mistake there from Aprox. You know, I don't want to get onto his back too strongly, but in that situation, he's definitely lost that round rather than K6 winning it. You know, I'm not suggesting that the players weren't good, and K6 did what he needed to do, and he just chose a route and pushed his way down there. But that said, he has, you know, all he has to do is stay alive there on the Legion, Aprox. And it was almost like a perfect example of what I was saying. The last two alive were Spark and Aprox. They'd not been dealt with. Upstairs again, I think we saw at least one player, if not two, being shot in the back by them moving back towards site. It was, again, a great roam from those two guys, and they got themselves back towards site. You know, in my mind, as you say, he's got all the goo mines down. He needs to get himself somewhere like the back of Armory, you know, just get himself wedged in somewhere that's as far from any of the stairs as he can get, so that he's wasting as much time as possible with K6 having to come and look for him. You know, I know that he'd been drawn out, but just keep changing your location, move around as much as you can. He's got to take a little bit of a guess as to which stairs, you know, K6 is going to come down potentially. But he's just, like you said, got so many audio cues available from those goo mines that he really does need to let them do their job, and he does not want to be peeking blue stairs at that point. He doesn't want to be peeking any set of stairs. He wants to set himself up on one set of stairs, get himself his crosshairs set, and let K6 move into his scope rather than the other way around.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, it was maybe a little bit not silly, but maybe not as well thought out as it could have been to use all the goo mines on the diffuser. I understand the value in putting a couple on, but if he'd have placed those a little bit further, then he would have got a bit more of an audio cue and a bit more of an alert as to, you know, where K6 was going to be pushing from. You know, like you say, he didn't really have any business winning that round, and you can see why Vitality want to go back down here, because it came down to a 1v1. They weren't that far away from it, and they've won one, lost one down here as well, so they're not looking too bad down on this bomb site. Zephyr going to push pretty aggressively up into tunnel, and we're going to have Tactis on the Blackbeard yet again, although the smoke is not going to be there with the shotgun this time. It is going to be Zephyr on the Ela, so a little bit of a different story, but that high fire rate on the Scorpion is certainly still capable of getting those close range kills, especially with the Blackbeard. You know, you don't always have to go for the head. If you can get the body shots in and you've got that high fire rate weapon, you can do the business that way. But this is going to be a bit of a standoff here. We've got Tactis just holding that pixel, and both players don't really want to move. So that's going to be a bit of a standoff in the tunnel as Aprox picks up his first kill onto Alive, trying to redeem himself for the previous round. He's going to take out Ash there. So that's going to be a good entry kill from, I believe, the floor above. Zephyr's going to forgive that tunnel push a little bit and not really push it all too much. He's going to rotate back into site, living to fight another day. We've got Spark playing a pretty tight angle upstairs as well. Diju is just underneath him, and I think this is the same angle that was played last time. So Diju is going to be well aware of it, and I don't think that he's going to fall for that again. He's not going to push it all too much, Spark. If you do leave that roamer up there and you get a flank watch or you get a claymore in place, you can kind of take him out of the game, because with the pressure and the progress that Supremacy are making onto site right now, Spark's not a non-factor upstairs, but if he's just watching something thinking someone's there, he's not really doing much for his team at that point. So he will find himself, you know, rotating back down to site in a 1 versus something deficit. So it's not all too much of a bad idea of what Supremacy are doing to carry on pushing this site, but they've got to have the flank watchers in place to be able to deal with that when it comes. Tactis there is showing his hand with 40 seconds left to go. He's going to peek out of the dirt tunnel, but get smoked off almost immediately by Brid, as the attack does just seem to be faltering a little bit. Qual there going to do a great job of shooting off nearly all of the X-Kairos there as Spark picks up the kill onto Diju. So not sure if Diju rotated back up there and got killed near the stairs, but Tactis there picking up smoke. 19 seconds left to go. The diffuser is in the hands of Anthrax, but Spark here, he's been unquestioned yet again. He's able to get a kill on the diffuser as it's getting planted. Qual and Aprox both picking up another one apiece, and another great round from Vitality. You can't help but think that's the way that they were hoping the previous round would have gone.
Look at who the last two kills came down to again. Aprox and Spark just moving down from upstairs again, perfectly timed, and just picking up those kills on the late flank, and that secures the round for Vitality. 3-2, leading into their last defensive round. Remembering we've got 6 defense followed by 6 attack. Now, again, like I said, I don't want to keep banging the same drum, but Supremacy, once again, not learning the lesson of ignoring those roamers. As you say, yes, you can take roamers out of the game like that, but I can't honestly say that Supremacy are doing enough in order to actually take them out of the game. Like you say, there's no claymores going down, there's no flank watchers in place, there's nothing being done to stop them moving back to site. They did that quite successfully on Gym and Bedroom, so I'm surprised. It's the same principle. They just don't seem to be applying it to other sites. We know where Spark and Aprox are going to play every single time. They've not even have they only played upstairs, they've played in the same rooms. Aprox in Cache and Spark is in Bedroom every single round when they played on Church and Arsenal. So I would have liked to have seen Supremacy just push up there in numbers, clears those 2 out, and be going downstairs with maybe 5 versus 3, 4 versus 3 advantage, if they had to take a trade or anything. So moving back onto the CCTV site then, this is another site that we saw Vitality win in the second round, so I'm sure they're going to be looking to come out of this and push for a 4-2 lead going into their attacking phase.
5 seconds left.
Yeah, definitely. It'll certainly be a good reflection of how the rounds have played out this far if Vitality do come out on top of their first defensive phase. And I can only agree with what you're saying. I think that Spark and Aprox, they're complementing each other very well, and they're playing as part of that, well-oiled machine and well-oiled team that we often see. Teams doing very well when they're kind of in that groove and everyone's, playing well together. So you can see here that Zephyr looks like he's going to go for a bit of a spawn peek, and I think he is going to pick up that kill. He is. He's going to get one onto Anthrax, and I think he just managed to shoot off the thermite charge off the garage wall, but I didn't quite catch it. Possibly not. Tactis is going to be hot on his heels, though, making sure that he's going to try and pick up this kill as a bit of a late trade, get some shots in. Zephyr is pretty lit at this stage. He's left with nowhere to go at this point. He's going to be hiding in strip. Alive is going to be pushing him from one side and Tactis from the other. So this is almost certainly, Zephyr's final chance here to get another kill, but I don't think that he's going to manage it. If Supremacy play this right, they should be able to pinch him, but look at the time that it's wasting. Zephyr there, just in strip, on his own, is managing to waste quite a bit of time for the attacking team, Supremacy, and as we've seen, they've not been doing too well on the time management, and time does seem to be something that they do run short of later on in the round. The push is going to come there from Tactis, and he is going to pick up that kill, but that's going to be traded out almost halfway into the entire round, so pretty slow there, but it is going to allow Supremacy that peace of mind, and they know they're not going to get pulsed from below, so they can make their way onto pushing the objective, which is of course Cache and construction. So Aprox is going to be playing downstairs, and no doubt going to come to blows with Alive here as he does manage to get some shots, and Aprox is going to be able to rotate back up the garage as long as there is no one playing at that double wall. That's going to afford him a nice easy way back up into sight, covered of course by Spark, who will be playing on the catwalk with that Alder yet again.
Yeah, and we saw pretty much that's what won the round last time. Remember, Spark came in with that fantastic 4K on the Maestro Alder, so absolutely no surprise to see him picking up that operator again, coming back to this site. As you can see, with just under a minute, we've got 3 Supremacy operators now on the Gym and Bedroom site, and Alive will actually Oh, he just misses the Maestro cam. He used one of those Ash breaching charges, but then Spark just gets a little bit greedy, starts going for the shots, I think, onto the Hibana charges, and Ash will move in and get the Maestro cam off the wall. But again, it just wastes more time. We're down to 30 seconds. They are all now on the construction side. Aprox gets the kill onto Dijou. That leaves us in a 4 versus 3. Supremacy have got to make something happen here. Tactis trying to apply some pressure from the window. The smoke's now coming out. Perfectly timed from Brid. He can just potentially smoke this out if he's got any more remaining. As we can see, K6 trying to just challenge the stairs there. In comes the nade. But I think, Spark just gets a kill of his own. Alive will trade that back out, leaving us in a 3 versus 2. But time is running out. The risks are having to be taken. Brid gets the kill onto Alive. That leaves us 1 versus 3 for K6. Out of time, out of luck, and that will be another round to Vitality. 4-2.
Again, just not great time management on the side of Supremacy. I commented on it at the time. They wasted nearly half of the round trying to dig that pulse out of Strip Club, and it just really cost them that round ultimately, because all they needed at the end was a couple more seconds, because like you say, the time was running short, so they were rushing, and that's when the mistakes were starting to be made. Instantly, I can see a big difference in the lineups here. We've got Spark going to be bringing the Jackal. We just got the scoreboard on screen for a second there. Spark going to be on 9, Aprox on 7. So they're on the pretty hard carry for their team, definitely picking up the majority of the frags. And Dijou there on Supremacy doing his utmost. But we're going to see a 6 pick out of the Jackal after I praised it, which is a little bit unfortunate. Because something that I was going to comment on was that I think Supremacy had done a pretty good job of bringing a Jackal. It would have helped them deal with the roamers a little bit better. They could have, used obviously the Jackal track. Obviously, you got the smoke as well for the plant. So there's a lot of utility rolled up in the Jackal. And I think that could have helped them route the roamers out a little bit more effectively. But it's only a theory at this stage, because obviously they are now going to be on defense. Sometimes we can see maps going a little bit more defender or a little bit more attacker favored, so we'll have to see how this plays out for Supremacy. You can see they're bringing the Capcan, which isn't something that you do see every day, but I'm a big fan of Capcan. I very much like his weapon. I think it's a bit of a laser.
Yeah, I think there's definitely room for a little bit more Capcan play, as you say, especially since the traps were updated, so they're a little bit less visible, especially when you've got a team, we haven't seen Vitality on the attack yet, so maybe not, but, we did see a little bit of sloppy drone work from Supremacy, going straight into stock and, getting that early kill picked up onto the sledge, so potentially if teams aren't being as thorough as they should be, those Capcan traps can start to have a little bit of a field day, and it's a bit like sort of death by attrition. Really, just the old water torture, just slowly just plodding away and taking the HP off the team in general. So we're going to see an approach towards Garage. Looks like it's going to be the start, and it looks like already Alive from Supremacy just playing up there again. He's sort of taking a bit of a lead, possibly from the success of the roam game for Vitality. But will Vitality learn the lessons and look to clear those roamers out before? And Alive just putting some early shots onto Aprox there. That is going to do a lot of damage, about 75 coming off the Zafir without a shot traded back onto the Jaeger. So great plays from Alive. Just that sort of cut and run mentality of roamers, just wasting time, stopping the progress into blue.
Yeah, definitely Supremacy doing a good job there of just fending off the attack, as it were. And you can see the kind of map control that Vitality have managed to gain this far, and it isn't all too many. We can see Qual making his way, making sure he thoroughly checks all of his corners before proceeding down into blue. And is this going to be a predominant blue push? I've not seen many hatches be open yet, if any at all. We just flicked on to Hibana there, and all 3 X-Kairos were still in hand. So Aprox going to be pushing down the blue tunnel, doing some drone work. That's not going to be a great place for the Zafir to be pushing in her current state. Obviously, not very many hit points left on the board. Dijou there just seeing a Claymore being placed. But these castle barricades are doing a great job of sort of restricting a lot of access that usually you take for granted on Clubhouse. You don't always see castle barricades played up there, but it's looking like it's doing the job of just really slowing down the push from Vitality as we move into the final minute of the round. And we can see that no hatch has been opened, not loads of ground has been gained. Yeah, they've got all the garage and they've got all of a bit of blue tunnel, but ultimately this is going to come down into a big gunfight in the final few seconds. Alive there just taking out a couple of drones, so his location is surely going to be known at this stage. Capital Bolt coming out there, but responded very quickly with a smoke smoke canister, although that is going to afford Spark the opportunity to run in and get onto the other side of blue, which is only a good thing at this stage. But the wall isn't opened between Church and Alive. They're going to come out with the wall bang. Is he going to be able to pick up another bridge, just hiding himself behind the box there in blue, unable to be shot at that angle? But at this stage, Aprox is going to have to push through that door, and something's going to have to give. Brid there picking up the kill onto Diju. Smoke grenade comes out there. Good shots get put in, but not enough. Tactics going to pick up the kill onto Qual. Traded straight back out. Aprox getting the kill onto Alive. 2 versus 3 in these final few seconds. Is the diffuser going to go down or not? Anthrax there putting some good shots down. The diffuser did go down in and amongst the chaos. Zephyr there picking up that kill onto Anthrax. It is now all down to K6 on the Capitao. Doesn't manage to pick up the kill, and Vitality are able to secure their first attacking round.
Wow, I think it's fair to say I really did not see that one going in Vitality's favour. 20 seconds to go, not a man actually directly on site at that point, still in blue tunnel, still in dirt tunnel, and then just managed to sort of brute force the way in. I really thought Alive and K6 were going to start cleaning house. They had the Kapkan and the Jaeger, they had impact holes opened up on both sides of the blue wall, both from Church and from Arsenal, and I really thought after Spark went down that was just going to be a bit of a bloodbath from the blue side, and that left them to just look after the dirt tunnel, which Smoke was doing quite capably. But somehow Vitality just kept pushing, kept banging the drum, and got themselves into armory. Picked up some good kills, it's fair to say. They had to hit the shots, and they did exactly that. Very, very impressive attack from Vitality there in the last 15 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, we called it in the pre-game. Clubhouse can often be a bit of a bloodbath in those final few seconds, but I'm not sure how they actually came away with that one. Purely because there was quite a lot of plant now left on the table. There was still some well-placed operators in Church, but it just seemed like it was one of those scenarios where if you play the objective, it's going to pay off. The diffuser went down, and that was really the pinnacle moment, because at that point, that really meant that Supremacy had to start getting kills, and they had to start pushing. So it put Supremacy really on the back foot, just that ballsy play of getting the diffuser down, if you will. And I think that was ultimately what did it for him that round. So we're going to see Supremacy setting up very similar. I don't really think they've got much of a reason not to go back to the same site. It did come down to, a pretty close, it came down pretty close in the end. I think it could have been a little bit differently if Aprox had maybe died in the early stages. I know Aprox got lit for like 75, so it certainly could have gone either way. I don't think there's anything wrong with going down to the same bomb site yet again. So we'll have to see what they're able to do just a little bit differently this time. K6 there playing pretty hard drone angle. I think he's got a mute jammer in there as well. Obviously expecting some sort of push to come from tunnel, but it doesn't seem as though that's the way that it's going to go, as Vitality are looking like they're going to do a bit of a thorough roam clear here and make sure that they've got full upstairs control, maybe get some claymores down or a flank drone before they proceed onto site.
So we will have Qual as the Thatcher just moving in upstairs, and probably taking those lessons that were not learnt against them. Getting upstairs, make sure that you're clearing any roamers out before you start moving on towards site, because as we saw, Spark and Aprox had an absolute field day with that. But they're going to meet some resistance as they try to move into bar, and Diju will just take that as his cue to leave as he takes a backward step and drops through that open hatch as the Thermite just opens the wall. And as we can see, the castle barricades again just being used to try and make a bit of a nuisance, but I think given that they were used in a similar way last time, Thermite's opened up that wall into bar, got himself inside, and I think it's just slowed them down a little bit less than it did last time. And as we can see now, I think Supremacy have largely fallen back to site, if not completely. So it's now going to be a case of Vitality starting to push towards site and stage that attack, see where they're going to move from. The lifelines just coming in from the Zofia of Aprox there, looking. Nobody has actually dropped the hatch yet, and we still have Alive of Supremacy. He's giving it the crouch walk. He's upstairs on the Jaeger, and if he can get the late flank here, he could have an absolute field day. I think that Vitality at this point, as you can see, 4 of them around that hatch. I tell you what, if that Jaeger comes downstairs in the next 10 seconds, it's going to be trouble for Vitality. I don't think that they're aware of his presence up there, but it looks like he's maybe playing a little bit too tentatively alive there, and he's just missed his chance as Vitality start to push downstairs. But how about that for a view from Anthrax, just managing to get the view onto Zephyr and take the Thermite off the board. His job is largely done, and Spark will trade out with one of his own onto Diju, so that leaves us 4 versus 4, and Vitality still managing to achieve, as we said, these trades. Every time they lose a man, they seem to get one back, and they've got the triple wall open from the Thermite. So Brid is going to move in. I'm sure he's going to try to get a plant, but Alive on the flank comes in and gets 3. Brid will get the trade onto Alive, but Tactis will step in on the smoke, take out Brid, and that will be round in favour of Supremacy. And that all comes down to not knowing where Alive was playing and not shutting him down.
What a great round from Alive. I can't believe that he pulled it off in the end. I thought that he was going to maybe come down the stairs when everyone on the Team Vitality was kind of just running at the bottom of the stairs, and it was just pretty obvious that it was no one's job to watch those stairs. There was no Claymore there was no drone there, or not that we could see anyway. And Alive's just done a great job of really picking his time to make that move. If he'd have made the move earlier when there's 4 people at the hatch, he maybe would have got a kill. But ultimately, you've got 3 or 4 people that are all going to be whipping around and trying to get a kill off. So he's given himself the best opportunity there. And I think the team members on Vitality were pretty heavily distracted by that wall. They were getting pressured from elsewhere by other members of Supremacy in that scenario. So it allowed Alive just to come down. And like you say, he picked up a 3k almost without moving the mouse. They were all lined up for him. It was fantastic to see. So, you know, it's interesting that Vitality are kind of suffering from something that they do very well as well, in that, you know, this late roam and the ability that they've got to play 2 roamers off site that are able to rotate down at the last minute and, you know, really affect the round in a positive way whilst wasting a lot of time as well. Although Alive didn't waste all too much time last round, ultimately he was very successful in the kills that he got. So it's interesting to see that tactic kind of coming and working against Vitality this time. They're obviously going to have to deal with it in some way, because it's not, it's proven a little bit too much for them to handle at the minute. They need to, I think, maybe deal with it in a bit more of a full-on, head-on kind of way. But maybe this isn't the bomb site for it, as we did see. The only real roam that you can kind of play is elsewhere upstairs, because half of upstairs is the bomb site in this scenario. So it's all about which walls you get open, and it does look as though Zephyr is going to be opening the bottom of Garage there, as we've got Diju forced back into site already, just to avoid being picked off of the catwalk.
Very early for Diju to rotate back into site there. I think there's plenty of protection up on that catwalk, and sometimes it can be worthwhile just keeping yourself up there so you can, live to fight. If you can burn a minute and a half up there and just stop them gaining that garage control too early, then it can even be worth sacrificing your life for. We're going to see a few just pushing the double wall now. They're going to look to get that open, I'm sure. Lifeline possibly going in to stop K6 on the bandit trick, but they are going to have to clear those bandits out. In comes the Thatcher from Qual, and out goes the Thermite charge, so that will be successful. K6 unable to keep himself close enough now. That wall has been opened and there's still nearly 2 minutes on the clock, so that is some great progress from Vitality, and they just need, I think, now to start pushing from a second angle so that they can start applying a bit more pressure. That's one of the traits I think that we've seen so far, apart from the Vitality attack down on Church. Some of the attacks we've seen tonight so far have been a little one-dimensional, especially on this cache location. If you remember the last one from Supremacy, we had I think 4 remaining players in construction with about 30 seconds to go before they tried to rotate and push from multiple angles. And I think this is just one of those sites. Alive just going for a horrible run out there, not actually getting any joy, but I think he might have just got a shot onto Spark to give it a little bit of damage and just make the attackers think about their safety there. But going back to what I was saying, I think if you can push yourself from Garage, maybe open the wall just behind the bomb between Garage and CCTV, and push from the CCTV wall at the same time, I think that can then start to get some progress for you. But Qual will get the first kill onto Tactis. That takes the Maestro off the board. That locks those Maestro cams pretty much in place and will not allow them to be used to shock anymore. So that That's a great kill, and it obviously takes a very powerful gun off the board as well. So great play from Qual there, and Vitality now just needing to do a little bit more with this. Out come the smokes, and they are going to try and plant. Brid moving into sight, but Diju will get one onto a Prox, and it all starts to go off. This is a signature that we're starting to see from the Vitality attacks. It's just sort of the calm before the storm. They get everything positioned, and then they move in. All of a sudden, out come the flashbangs. Shots will rain down, and I think Sparks is probably down there, but just not quite out. Whether they choose to go and pick him up is obviously going to be a risk. Supremacy going to get onto that diffuser early. Alive getting aggressive. Zephyr moves in with a double kill onto Diju and Alive, and a third onto Anthrax, but it won't be enough because he won't take the one defender that matters, the one on the diffuser. K6, how's about that? Bullets flying all around him, keeps his calm, stays on the diffuse. Now that is a skill in itself.
Well, what a fantastic end to the round. I think K6 there proving that playing the objective is the most important thing in Siege, just getting himself nice and tucked away behind that bomb. And I mean, what were Vitality doing in that scenario? They didn't have anybody watching the post plan at all. I mean, I know that Zephyr was able to pick up kills and stuff, but from that position where the diffuser was planted, there was no way on earth that he was able to get the kill because the bomb's in the way, providing K6 the perfect cover. We saw players falling off the balcony. We saw players in the garage that were rotating back out. And where was the post plant plan from Vitality in that scenario?
I have no idea. If you saw when the plant went down, I think Supremacy were actually quite close to site when the plant went down, and all we saw was Vitality scattering in every direction. I think Spark got shot on the Capitao as he was dropping off the roof. He was obviously going to try and get himself back on the rappel, but he got downed as he went down there. And they just sort of, everybody just scattered in every direction, and the shots came in and just started picking them up in the back, and it just fell apart. But like I say, let's not write off K6 there. It's no different to actually planting the diffuser. And you think it's really easy. You get in there, you just hold your F key down. But I tell you now, there's something that just screams at you to lift up off that key and to start trying to defend yourself, get yourself into the fight. And sometimes when it's going down like that, especially when you see a triple kill drop like we did from Zephyr, everything about you wants to get up and just start to join that fight. But K6 knew exactly what the deal was, kept himself on that diffuse, and won the round. Like you said, the kills are insignificant at that point. They're absolutely impactless. It literally does not matter, because all that matters is the fact that this scoreboard says 5-4 Supremacy, and Vitality are going to be wondering how they're not further ahead.
Well, I think, yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there. Vitality have got to be sat here now thinking, hang on, we had a pretty good lead at the start of this. We were doing all right, and now it seems to be slipping away. Definitely seems like we've got a game on our hands. Like you say, round count being 4-5, still in favour of Vitality, but, that could all certainly change. We're seeing a slightly different approach this time. We've got a Prox moving in upstairs, just making sure that Cash is going to be totally clear. They really don't want to fall foul to any sort of late rotate. Obviously, Alive did a fantastic job of a late rotate earlier on the downstairs location, but it doesn't appear as though he's playing upstairs this time, although I do believe we've got somebody playing upstairs over in Master, and we've got the Blitz ready to deal with this. Blitz obviously a fantastic roam clearer, the ability to be able to go in, flash, and cause a little bit of disruption with a player like a Prox or someone on a Zephyr or an Ash buddying up in that scenario. But looks as though the Claymore's just going to go down to stop the rotate, and that's really going to be all they're going to do about that roam, and they're not going to push it all too heavily, which is a little bit strange. It does seem as though they've got a good opportunity here, and they have wasted a lot of time. We're obviously more than halfway through the round now. We've got some ex-Kairos there coming out, maybe just to push out a player that's playing down in stock, but we've got Diju and K6 here making this push through construction. They're going to bring the fight to the attackers at this stage, as they're not getting pushed by the attackers themselves. It could be a good opportunity there for a bit of a wallbang from K6, but the Claymore is just going to slow him down a little bit in that push. Pre-fire shots come out, but don't manage to land. K6 takes a lot of damage in that process. A Prox there landing some very good shots, but look at the amount of time that Supremacy are able to waste here. Zephyr there going to pick up a kill onto Tactis, so smoke off the board. Bit early for a smoke maybe to be getting taken out, but at this stage with a minute left and the amount of time that's been wasted by Supremacy on the roam, it's not a bad thing at all. But we're going to see there, we've got Maestro just holding an angle through onto stock. Qual's made his way in with Blitz and he's now in the site, but Is he going to be able to get the diffuser down in this scenario? Zephyr is actually going to be getting the diffuser down now. The roam comes out from Alive, another 1 kill, and doesn't quite manage to get the one onto Blitz there as Spark helps the Blitz out and picks up that kill as the Ash. Brid there going to pick up a kill onto K6. Anthrax going to trade it straight back out onto a kill onto Qual. So I don't think the diffuser got planted in and amongst all of that chaos. 9 seconds left on the clock. Anthrax picking up another one with the Alder. Bearing 9 shots there coming out. Does manage to pick up one with the Type 89, but it's a 1 versus 1. 1 minute, and the time is going to run out. 1 minute left on the clock. No, 1 second left on the clock. Diffuser not in hand, and ultimately just another load of time really ran out there as the Romans did a fantastic job yet again of wasting time.
We're seeing exactly why the roam game can be so important on Clubhouse here. So many rounds coming down to teams just not really managing to pick them up. It's fair to say that the Romans are playing very well. They're being very slippery. But I think the team that is going to ultimately win this map is the one that can come out and get a grip of that and just come in and clear out the map so that when they start focusing on site, they can really actually focus on site and they can have those flanks locked down rather than all these late flanks that we're seeing, players being shot in the back repeatedly. That's what needs to be dealt with from both sides. I think we've seen it on the attack here. But Supremacy sort of learning from Vitality, really. It's something that Supremacy suffered too. So we'll play you at your own game. They've come back and they've done exactly the same thing in return. We're going to see Qual just swapping back onto that Blitz again. And he was certainly seemed to be playing a roam clear function. He got himself straight up that garage catwalk and moved across that top floor and really tried to play in that roam clear function. But I just don't think it was obviously too effective. And how about Supremacy coming out and winning that bar stock location? We barely ever see that anymore, let alone see it won.
No, absolutely. It's really fallen out of favour with the rework too. With the rework that we have seen to Clubhouse. I mean, you can see there they won it pretty convincingly. There was certainly nothing wrong with that for a win. It wasn't lucky or anything like that. They just did a fantastic job of making sure that they wasted a lot of time on their own. They had the guys that were playing in sight in good angles to try and fend off the attackers. It did look as though the diffuser was going to go down for a time, but I think that Zephyr got taken off that, potentially even by the Maestro. But yeah, great round. I don't know why we don't see it more. It looks as though it'd be better than what it was before, and it used to be quite a popular site on Clubhouse. But maybe this is the start of teams that are going to be, using this bomb site just a little bit more. Pre-fire there came out and was nearly successful, although that's how it looked on the spectator view that we've got here. I'm sure it wasn't that close, but it certainly looks a little bit closer than maybe it was. Alive there, going to put some shots in, understand that there is a Blitz on the board, and make his way back down onto the top of blue stairs as control is being gained here by Aprox as they're going to be taking over Garage and Cash. And is this the time that we're going to see quite a comprehensive roam clear? We've got the operator to do it. We've got a Blitz. I'd like to see this site and this map be very well taken over by Vitality and them able to, start to drop onto site and start to execute, knowing that they've got good site control and that they're well defended. But DJU, they're going to be playing his castles yet again. And this is the same way that he's played this objective. I think this is now the 3rd time that we're seeing this bomb site. So surely there's got to become a point where you say, right, we know that Castle's going to be playing upstairs. We know that it's a good, we know that it's causing us a bit of an issue on a rotate or whatever like that. So we're going to actually deal with it and we're going to take it out. But I think that K6 there is going to get some very good shots in onto Zephyr. But as they're only into their foot, they're not as big as they could have been. But I'm not sure why he's lifting the mute jammer up right now, because if Zephyr gets a exothermic charge, he'll be able to get this wall open. But K6 there going to be juggling his mute jammers again, wasting a lot of time in this scenario as the C4 comes out. Not sure if it's going to get detonated or not, but it does seem as though we've got a bit of a standoff. K6 certainly could have left his mute jammer there and maybe stopped that thermite charge from going off, but tunnel is going to be open. We're going to have Qual on Blitz pushing that tunnel, and that's going to be very similar to the way that we'd see a Monty use to push that. Now we know that Monty's been banned. We can hear their goo mines going off in the background, and that's going to be a good audio cue for the rest of the defenders on site that there is somebody in the tunnel, as we've got a Prox now playing in blue, just waiting to get this pinch onto any players playing in the back of Armory. Brid just in the corridor up toward Garage, just can't quite get a peek onto the head, does get the peek, doesn't quite manage to hit the shot, so Prox there going to open things up with a kill onto DJU, get traded straight back out by Tactics. K6 coming in with a C4 toss onto the Blitz. Alive getting a kill onto Brid. So you can see here is this clubhouse bloodbath that we often talk about. K6 there picking up another one onto Zephyr, and it's now all down to Spark in these final few seconds. He does have the diffuser. He does have all of his utility as Capitao, but is it going to be enough? There's only 15 seconds left on the clock at this stage. He's stuck in blue. He is in a very good crossfire at this stage. Smoke grenades come out, big shots come through, and it is the smoke that's going to finish things off in the end. Another good round on the board for Supremacy.
What a view of that from Medics. I've got to give him a little shout out there. Just going into the top down, and we saw a perfect representation of what Spark was facing there from blue. Just a semicircle of 4 Supremacy players waiting for him to move. And as soon as he did, in come the shots. And that will put Supremacy in the lead for the first time today. Not only is that the lead, it also offers them a match point. Can Supremacy do this? Coming from behind and just get themselves straight into the win, going into CCTV without even needing the overtime. This could be a little bit of an upset on the first map of Clubhouse here.
It certainly feels like a little bit of a reverse sweep, if you will. You know, just with how strong Vitality started, it wasn't just that they won the first couple of rounds. It was the way that they won those first couple of rounds. They were very convincing. It just looked as though Supremacy really didn't have an answer. But it must seem now that Supremacy have got themselves warmed up. They've given themselves a bit of a wobble, and they've said, right, you know what? This is how we're going to play it. We're going to play our game, and they're doing a fantastic job of doing it this far. And as you say, we're now on to match point, so anything is possible. Going back upstairs into cash. So I think this is a location that they've done well in the previous round. K6 stuck the defuse as the defuse got planted by Vitality, and then the Vitality teammates and players just seemed to vacate the site. Zephyr did manage to pick up that 3k, but as you said, Ace, it was impactless at the end because it didn't really come down to all too much as K6 stuck the diffuser. So it'd be interesting to see how Vitality deal with this time, in the sense that are they going to get the plant down? We've seen them get the plant down a couple of times, which has been great, but I'm not sure that they're getting the plant down at the cost of, you know, figuring out how they're going to watch the plant effectively in the end, because ultimately if you get it down and you don't end up watching it, it's not going to be too good. That Valcam is almost certainly going to get spotted by a Live's Valcam, sorry, should I say, is almost certainly going to get spotted, but it's going to provide in some early information as to where the push is going to be coming from, and it does look as though it's going to be coming from around Garage sort of an area, as Qual is droning out Garage DG there on the ground floor of Garage. Not something that you always see. Players often tend to play on the catwalk of Garage, as it is a little bit safer on the ground floor, as that has already been opened up. C4 in hand from Alive. A Prox has definitely heard it. Toss comes out, not successful, not quite far enough, and that's going to be a bit of wasted utility there from Alive early on in the round.
Yep, so we're going to start seeing, I think Vitality are probably going to do very similar to what they did last time, because it worked very well. Like you said, the problem was in the post plant. Personally, I'd want to see you do similar, get the plant down again, and just react differently to what they did last time. K6 getting down there, he's just going to manage to get himself away. Secret Anthrax can maybe move in and pick him up, but that's going to be the double wall open there. And we're going to start seeing the challenge coming from Vitality. Like I said, they've got that double wall open. I think they're going to be looking to apply some pressure from Garage as well. The Maestro is going to pick K6 up, so that will reset him up onto 50 health. We've still got a Supremacy player. Looks like Valkyrie possibly up on that catwalk. So they are defending Garage this time, but Vitality are going to be soon looking to get themselves in towards sight, I would say. And how about that from Diju? Takes the head off of Prox as he just watches him moving across, and that was a great angle to hold there. Alive up on the top of the catwalk. I think it's worthwhile mentioning that the last round was actually the first round that Alive has remained alive to the end, but he will get a kill there onto Spark, and he gets a second onto Qual, but then Brid moves in and gets the kill onto Alive, so that will trade it straight back out, leave us in a 4 versus 2, and Vitality now have it all to do. Brid and Zephyr, the 2 hard breaches being the ones remaining, but they've got 2 good guns on side. They've got plenty of hit points, but they are down to 40 seconds, and they're going to have to start doing something if they're going to win this round here.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, time is working definitely against them. 2 hard breaches left. Diffuser is not in hand. It's going to have to come down to kills at this stage. Zephyr going to pick up that kill onto Anthrax. So that's going to be one of the kills that is needed to pull this round out. But still a 3 versus 2 in favour of Supremacy. Zephyr now going to make his way up the top of Cash Stairs. The smoke grenades, the flashbangs come in. Zephyr picks up one and does manage to pick up another one onto Taxis so quickly. He's been put into a 1 versus 2. Brid's going to get the final kill onto Diju. And that's going to be a very unexpected round win for Vitality. That was definitely looking like it should have gone in the way of Supremacy. I think that was a 4 versus 2 leading into the final 30 or so seconds. But they managed to frag it out and get the kills that they needed to pick up that round. So this is going to take us into an overtime.
Unbelievable plays from Zephyr and Brid there, just keeping the dream alive for Vitality. Never say never attitude, just got themselves into sight and just made an absolute mockery out of Supremacy there. Like you said, 2 versus 4 with 30 seconds to go. It was 2 versus 2 with 10 seconds to go, and they just moved in, and where Supremacy just needed to keep themselves alive, if nothing else, they just couldn't manage it. And as you can see there, we've got Alive and Diju, so important for Supremacy. 23 kills across the 2 of them, whereas by contrast, if you look to Vitality, 22, 32, 41 kills spread across 4 players very evenly. So, we've just got 2 very different styles coming out from these teams. Supremacy looking at a very sort of support and frag mentality between the team, whereas Vitality spreading out those kills across the board, but neither really coming out with any major advantage as yet. Vitality coming in on the attack. Now, could that be telling for Vitality? If you remember, their best phase was their initial defensive phase where they went 4 and 2. They are coming straight back onto the attack. I suppose they've got momentum having just been on the attack, but they certainly performed better on the defence, and it would look like Clubhouse is going in the favour of the defenders today. So is that going to be potentially a deciding factor with the advantage going to Supremacy?
Yeah, I mean, we've said it, Clubhouse can often fall one way or the other. I personally do think it is a little bit defender favoured, so is that going to give Supremacy the edge? We'll have to see. I mean, we've seen this site go both ways. I think last time we saw it, Supremacy did a great job of picking up the victory and ultimately just cutting Vitality down as they were making the way into the site in the final couple of seconds. It was a bit of a bloodbath, really. So we're going to have to see how that plays out this time. I'm expecting Blitz maybe to do the push through the dirt tunnel again, as that was successful to a point. Although it does need backing up with somebody playing that angle from Blue Corridor. Approx He's wasted no time in getting an angle up into Garage and just trying to drone out this top floor and make sure that nobody is lurking upstairs, which I don't believe we have. We've just got Diju playing his signature now. This isn't something that he's going to be able to do in every week that they play Clubhouse, I'm sure, because teams are going to look over these VODs and quickly come up with a way of dealing with that pretty swiftly. But those two castles really seem to be working well for him. The hatch open, so he doesn't even have to go to main stairs to rotate back. He can just fall down hatch into Moto and on into Church. So he's giving himself quite a lot of flexibility there to be able to do what he needs to do. But ultimately, I think that if the attackers dealt with this a little bit more head-on, then they would be able to deal with him a little bit better. You can see there already dropping the hatch, but having wasted at least a minute of the round.
Vitality have attacked this site 3 times so far in this engagement, have only won it once, so that leaves them with only a 33% win rate down here. And if you remember last time, it came down to a 1 versus 4 for Spark, and it was just very, very difficult for them to gain anything out of it. As you can see, Supremacy this time holding site completely with all roamers now removing. A minute and a half to go. Vitality have certainly got the room here to start operating. They are going to be challenged on stairs, and the Diju actually getting a team kill onto Alive, and that is going to make things difficult. 5 versus 4 now, and Qual able to move in. Are we going to see the wall opened up? It looks like a triple wall push. Prox getting the kill onto K6. Smoke's coming out just to deny that blue push, but that's actually a very clever play from Prox there. Just moving from that side of the map is now starting to stretch Supremacy on their defense, and it is a case of if they can get down there, Diju getting the kill onto Prox, and that could be an important one for anybody to kill kill on the Supremacy side, that actually means that this attack is now more one-sided from Vitality, and it just allows Supremacy to focus a little bit more. Spark, meanwhile, with a kill of his own, Qual getting one, and this is surely going to be all she wrote as Zephyr moves in and gets the kill onto Anthrax. That leaves Vitality ahead by 1 and staring down the barrel of their first match point. What a clinical attack from Vitality there.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the numbers weren't looking too good for him at one point. Like you said, 33% chance of taking that win, but they managed to do what it took, and now that's put Vitality in a pretty strong spot because, as you said, their best phase was on defense. So they're going to be afforded the opportunity to go down there themselves now to Church and Arsenal, and this could be, this is a pretty big round for Supremacy at this stage. They really struggled on the early attack. They picked up a bit of momentum in the later attacking rounds, but it's all going to be about how they're able to deal with this roam from Aprox and Spark. It's something that we've seen time and time again on the Legion and the Valkyrie usually, although Aprox this time opting to play... Oh, sorry, it was usually the Legion and the Alibi, I think it was. And Aprox this time opting to play the Bandit, not six picking out just as of yet. So it's all going to be about how they deal with that roam game. I'd really, really like to see Supremacy bring a Jackal, but they're going to opt to switch out for a Thatcher instead, and we are going to see a Mirror this time from Qual. I don't believe we've seen all too much Mirror play, considering that Mirror's been available for the whole map.
Yeah, you'd usually expect to see a little bit more possibly, but that being said, Vitality certainly know what they're doing on this site. They won 2 out of 3 when they were down here on their defence, so again, the odds certainly more in their favour this time. Bridge just getting the dirt tunnel there, and I think, looking back to the last round there, is there anything that Supremacy can learn from that? I think, the big takeaway there was that Aprox kill just before he got killed out of blue. It just really split Supremacy's focus because they were focusing on main stairs and triple wall. They knew that there was a large amount of Vitality players there, but as soon as that kill came from the backside, it just made them turn their heads away. It made them turn their heads away, and then 10 seconds later, I think there was a quick double kill, and it left them in a 1 versus 4. So, definitely something to take away there is get your attack split, try and get the pinch, and as we can see, Anthrax early going for that open up, but will the bandit trick be successful? Aprox gets the bandit trick onto Thermite. How about that? So we've lost 1 charge. That is going to limit them now, potentially. They do still have Ibana, who can focus on the hatches. It gives Thermite another opportunity to open Dirt Tunnel, but it does not allow him to get downstairs and open the triple wall, nor does it allow him to open anything in Blue Corridor. So that could be a big play from Aprox there.
Yeah, really big play. I was interested to see why it actually brought the Bandit, because obviously we've not seen Bandit usually brought for this location. Prox usually one of those guys that's going to be playing upstairs, but this time choosing to tone it back a little bit. Maybe the fact that it's match point is playing into that a little bit, and he just wants to be downstairs for the final few seconds for when the kills start to be traded out. K6 is going to be on the stairs, just waiting for some backup from a drone before he pushes on any further. Hibana going to come through and start opening up some hatches. We're about halfway into the round right now, and we've got a full stack left on both sides. So no doubt this is going to be the typical Clubhouse bloodbath toward the final few seconds, and it's all going to be about which angles are being held by the defenders and how the attackers are going to be able to trade out these kills. So we've got Mirror going to be playing a nice angle there onto the main stairs, and no doubt that's going to be a big beachhead for the attackers. The kitchen hatch has not been opened as of yet, and I'm not all too sure why that is. I'm sure that Diju has maybe got some Hibana pellets left, but not opting to use them on the kitchen hatch just yet. Sledge going to be making short work of that floor as he does try to get a nice angle. You saw Mirror there just opening the top of that reinforcement, and K6 there just not quite managing to get that angle down into the top of the Mirror window. If it was a little bit differently, he could potentially get a grenade down there, and that would be devastating at this stage. But a lot of time being wasted now by Supremacy, and Vitality are doing a great job here of just making sure that they are not really giving anything up. They don't have to push anything. They don't have to, give anything away or expose themselves. They really are able to just sit tight, hold angles, and see what comes in terms of a push. That does look like it's going to be coming from Moto as a Prox gets stun grenaded, but the push didn't come through from Diju. He's now just destroying the barbed wire, biding his time, waiting for maybe a little bit of distraction from elsewhere as we get some shots put in there, but a Prox is going to come off the better in that engagement, getting the kill onto K6. Diju now left in a bit of a neck-breaking battle as he doesn't know which way to turn. Kills coming out thick and fast. A Prox picking up Anthrax. Tactics picking up a Prox straight away. Braid picking up a double kill to close the round out, and that's going to be a round win for Vitality, and that is going to be the first map in the books.
Great plays from Vitality there. I think I think Supremacy maybe lost themselves that a little bit. They've done very similar to what they did last time they attacked that site, the last 2 times that they lost it to Vitality. They just really struggled with actually making any real progress towards site. I think that was the big issue for Supremacy on that site, and it's certainly something, if they're looking at Clubhouse, that they're going to have to go away and work on, is their attack of Church and Arsenal.
I think it's all about speed. I think that's one of the things that you can really take away from that, is the speed in which both teams conducted themselves, either worked, for or against. You saw that last round, Vitality. In their first defending phase, we saw quite an aggressive defense. We saw Spark, we saw a Prox, both playing upstairs, playing pretty aggressively, pretty out of the way, feeling like, they didn't even have to rotate back down into site when they would usually maybe rotate back down into site. They were really waiting until those final few seconds to make a big impact on that final rotation, which is great. And you saw it work for them very well. You saw a couple of rounds that didn't work for them too well. But on that last round, you saw 5 men or 5 players on site, really making sure that they were clutching that round out. And I think it's a perfect example of knowing when to play aggressively and knowing when to play a little bit more passively, holding angles, making players play into your hands. All the pressure was on Supremacy in that last round. They really had to make a play. They were attacking, so the clock's running against you from the word go anyway. They had to win it because it was match point for Vitality, so they had to do something anyway. So I think, Vitality did a fantastic job there of just really stacking the pressure on Supremacy and saying, you know what, if you want it, you're going to have to come and get it because we're all going to be on site. We're all going to be holding angles. And ultimately, Supremacy just ran out of time yet again. And I think, it's maybe the story of that map on Clubhouse is that Supremacy often found themselves running out of time.
Yeah, I think, we saw K6 upstairs that time. It's almost like the round that Supremacy finally sent people upstairs to clear those roamers out. Guess what? The roamers aren't there. And Vitality have sent everybody downstairs for a total defence, like you say. And again, it just worked perfectly because Supremacy, like you say, it was probably 2 minutes into the round before they fully realised that and started to approach that. And it was just too little too late. But, props to Supremacy, not to take anything away from them. They've done fantastically well there. They've come out of their initial attacking phase 4-2 down, and that's not necessarily an easy thing to come back from, especially against a team like Vitality once they've got on top of you. But they've shown some real good mental fortitude to manage that. So looking towards the next round, how do you think that's going to, what can we take away from that and apply to Bank, do you think?
Well, we talked about it in the pre-game. We talked about how Bank is a very good map for roamers. I can't help but think we're going to see some sort of target ban onto Vitality to try and desist that roam a little bit, purely because of how powerful it was on Clubhouse, which, let's face it is a map you can roam on, but it isn't known for its roaming as much as a map like Bank. Bank's a hell of a lot bigger. There's a lot more potential for rotations upstairs. There's 3 staircases. When you start getting into a map that's got 3 staircases, that's when you really start thinking about quite a well-established and, easy roam to kind of get away with. Loads of hatches as well, a lot of opportunity for vertical play. So it really is going to live and die in the operator bans. I'm expecting Vitality to try and keep hold of some of those roamers, and maybe as they are on defense first, I really wouldn't be surprised if we see a Jackal ban. I know we talked about it a little bit. I know that Supremacy haven't been taking a Jackal, but if you just remove that of it, you remove that off the board, it's going to make the job even harder for Supremacy, because as we've seen, Vitality do tend to do a little bit better on their defensive stages.
Absolutely. So coming into the bans, no surprise then to see the Jackal ban come out, Prediction. And that is going to allow Vitality to have a field day on the roam, as X has already rightly said. Are we going to see the Vigil ban? That's the question. If Supremacy are playing smart here, I expect them to come out with the Vigil ban because
it really doesn't. I don't think it matters. Vitality have proved they can roam on a multitude of operators. You can't ban all of the roaming operators, because then you just get left with Echo, Mirror, and Maestro all on the defense.
I think Supremacy might wish they can.
But all of a sudden, you know, you're gonna either have no roamers and a load of deniability, or, you know, a load of roamers and no deniability. So I can't help but think Supremacy are a little bit on the back foot here, but I'm interested to see how they come out fighting. We're seeing a Clash ban yet again from Vitality. They really, really don't want to go up against a Clash. And a Monty ban as well is something that we have seen in the previous matchup. So Monty ban, quite a powerful operator for Bank. Obviously, you've got that CCTV server push, and the Monty can do great work either blocking the door for the blue stairs or just pushing into sight and trying to eat some C4s as the denial does come out. Last ban from Vitality is going to be the Echo once again. So almost going to see a carbon copy of the bans from the first game, save the Jackal. So I think, according to that lineup, I think it favours Vitality a little bit.
I think it favours Vitality quite heavily. I'm not sure why Supremacy are coming out with the Clash ban. Maybe they know something we don't, you know, but I just can't really see the thought process behind it. I know that Clash can be powerful in the right circumstances, but honestly, given what they faced last time, you know, I completely hear what you're saying, X, about, you know, the potential to take roamers off the board and that they can roam with anybody. You know, they're right, but if you're going to ban Clash, surely it'd have been better to just, you know, ban one roamer. If, you know, just ban a Jaeger, ban an Ella, ban a Vigil, ban somebody who's a 3-speed who's going to get out there and hurt you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I see Clash as not like a non-issue, but I don't really think she's ban-worthy at this level. You know, we saw what good work Maestro was doing last game. Maestro was doing some fantastic work. Obviously, the information on the Evil Eyes, you're causing your attackers to waste a little bit more utility on trying to destroy those Evil Eyes as well, maybe expose himself a little bit. And obviously, we've got the fantastic LMG that he's got. So I think that, you know, a ban like Maestro even wouldn't have been a bad place to start. Yeah, the Clash, I really don't understand it. It doesn't seem like an operator that is missing from either of these lineups. I think there's much more crucial operators that I'd be looking to take out. You know, if I was sat on either team, really, I think there'd be other operators in my, you know, above that on my list.
Interestingly as well, let's make sure we don't miss it. Mirror is available and has not been brought to lockers by Vitality. I'm sure they've got a plan. It looks like they've expended a bit of resource upstairs as well, but Alive moving in very quickly on the Ash. I'm surprised not to see the Mirror to play, you know, play in the gold corridor. It's such a powerful position, you know, to watch over that site. So Qual here is going to be defending the open area. As you can see, we've got a reinforcement up there just to stop the attack coming in. Zephyr playing up there as well. This is a 2-man hold of open area. Vitality putting a lot of presence up here. Qual is going to know that somebody's in there with him. Shots are being traded as Bob and weave around the desk. Alive and Dijou coming out with 2, but Qual will get one of his own back onto Dijou. That will leave us now 4 versus 3 very quickly. 2 minutes on the round and already 2 defenders down, but Qual gets the kill onto Anthrax, and I think that was also Diffuser down as well. So if Qual can start to play open area, but as I say that, Caster's Curse, Alive moves in and makes sure that Qual is anything but alive as he gets the headshot onto the Valkyrie, taking off the board, and that's going to allow Supremacy to retrieve this Diffuser now. Ash is Alive, just moving through open, and that is now control of that top floor, and it looks like Ella and the Spark on Ella and Brid are now downstairs and just looking to defend site, and that is going to be difficult without that Mirror and only 2 of them.
Yeah, the smoke play is really good from that gold corridor, like you say. It's a hell of a lot easier when you've got a Mirror to play behind. You can see there that K6 is even on the Twitch, maybe in anticipation of that Mirror. Because, you know, there's not many other reasons you would maybe bring the Twitch on this location. You'd maybe favour some other utility, maybe some smoke grenades or similar. And obviously Mirror having a C4 as well. Like you say, it is pretty bonkers that we aren't seeing it. Supremacy have done a fantastic job of getting some good control, but it seems as though they have just faltered in these last 30 or so seconds, and they've not really furthered that control any. They've obviously done some drone work and they've got themselves repositioned, but it does look as though Spark is going to be well placed to pick up that kill, get some good shots in onto Alive. but he's going to get pushed out nonetheless as there's some pressure coming in from CCTV. Brid in a fantastic position to deny this plant. You can see there the wall has been shot open all the way through. That's going to allow him to throw smoke canisters right onto the plant spot, and that is a perfect throw. He's going to push Tactis back there for at least another 15 seconds, and when there's only 20 seconds left on the clock, you can't ask for much more than that in terms of denial. You can hear the final smoke grenade getting tossed out there as well, and it's all going to be on Supremacy now to try and get this bomb down. K6 there getting downed, but Alive managing to pick one up of his own. Brid is all the way upstairs, and I'm not sure if the attackers are aware of this. Alive is planting the diffuser. We've got K6 who's down, Tactis on very low health, but Brid is going to pick up that final kill, and he is going to be left now in an effective 1 versus 1. But Tactis is only 1 bullet away from certain death. Brid got a lot to do here. He's done a great job of being able to pick up this kill, but he does seem to be sticking the defuse. He's baited it. He's not quite looking the right direction. Is he going to be able to pick up this kill onto IQ? He does manage to pick up that kill. The SMG-11 there melting through at close range. He's pretty sure at this stage that K6 is down, so he's able to get the defuse with ease, and that or maybe he's not. Maybe he's going to bait it. Maybe he's not sure that K6 is down. He needs to stick that diffuser. No doubt there's shouts coming from his team just saying, stick it, stick it. And he is going to stick it. The defenders are going to win that round. But it didn't look so certain at one stage there. He is just going to go and double check that K6 was down in that scenario. But a fantastic round there from Brid, and a great round from Vitality.
Brid done everything that his team needed to. I think he rescued the situation for them there. Supremacy managed to clear open very well. They did lose 2 men to it, but they took 3 with them, so you've got to say that that's a decent trade, really. They've got upstairs control, and then Vitality have done very, very well just to hold on to that site for as long as they did. I think there's potentially an error on Alive's part there. I think he's got himself into CCTV, he's got himself into sight. It's easy to look back on it now and say that he could have got the diffuse down. I think he probably could have found the 7 seconds to get it down inside there, but he did get a great kill, got himself into the less common lockers sight, got the diffuser down, shot in the back for his trouble. It really just needed that extra man that K6 was down. I think if he's able to then watch from the servers area and cover his back as Brid drops, I think that's a little bit of a different story there.
Yeah, definitely. It looks as though Supremacy kind of got themselves into a position and then didn't do all too much with it. You know, they took, like you say, they took good control of open area, but they didn't really have a plan moving forward. And I think that comes down to maybe a lack of utility. If you look who was left on the board at that stage, you've got IQ, you've got Twitch, and you've got Ash. None of them are really known for the planting, potential that they provide. Obviously, you can have some noise disruption. You can, with the Ash charges, you can go for, a little bit of Twitch drone distraction maybe, but you really want to get some smokes in that scenario to try and secure a plant. And I think Brid did a fantastic job on the smoke, purely because of the way that he was able to deny the plant and the way that he was able to then pick up those final couple of kills, which were also crucial in that stage. And that's all you need from a smoke player. You just need them to be able to stay alive, get the utility out, and be able to clutch up in those final seconds, because often they are the last line of defense for the defenders. But we are going to see a slightly different bomb site this time. We're going to be going to Archive and Tellers. DG going to waste not a lot of time at all in trying to get himself up into square stairs, as the heavy drone work is going to be coming out. And we've got a Prox favouring the castle this time. Castle can be a devastating operator on Bank, purely because of the amount of rotation that he's able to cut off and some of the rooms that he's able to turn into something that's a little bit easier to hold. So a lot of drone work going out now from Supremacy, and I think that they're maybe just struggling for a push at this stage, deciding which angle they are going to push from. It looks as though main lobby could be a favourite. Tactis going to be upstairs with the IQ doing great work, taking out the bandit batteries, taking out any other utility that may be lying around there, like ADSs or potentially even a Valkyrie cam. But Tactis having an absolute field day upstairs. I think he's managed to pretty much clear that objective out of anything electronic, and the push is going to start coming in. Qual there going to be holding an angle onto the janitor hatch as Diju just up there, not really wanting to expose himself all too much. Anthrax playing a vertical angle there down into the objective as well. And we're over halfway into the round. It does seem pretty slow. We've got 10 players left on the board. I'm not sure that Supremacy have got much conviction in what they're trying to push here.
I'm a bit surprised on Vitality's part. It's no wonder that it's slow, because you've got, I think, 4 or 5 of Vitality all on this same floor. Tactics coming in with the first kill onto Spark there, so that'll take the Bandit down. I'm just not really seeing much of a roam game. They come away from Clubhouse and they were heavily roaming with 2 or 3 off site, and they saw a lot of success with it. Zephyr going to move around slowly here with the crouch walk from Jaeger. Is he going to get in behind Alive? He's going to have to move quickly if he wants to. That 3-speed Ash, a Prox will get the kill onto her, and it looks like Zephyr just managing to challenge a second as well. But going back to what I was saying, not too much of a roam game. We all know how important the upstairs floor is in Bank for an Archives, objective. You can't just give that away, really. But that is exactly what Vitality have done. I don't think Zephyr knows that the IQ is just led down behind the desk there, and Tactics will move around and get the kill onto Zephyr. That's great place to keep himself hidden before moving out at just the right time and catching Jaeger on the reload, I think. But Qual will move back, a Prox with one of his own as well, and Brid takes us into a 3 versus 1 very quickly. Brid gets a second onto K6, and that will finish things off for a second round to Vitality. And it's sort of weird, Vitality are coming out on top as we suggested, but not really in the method that we suggested. They're not too heavy on the roam game. They didn't really have any roamers that last round, but they've played very well and kept their angles, and that was a difficult round for Supremacy. Not a foot they could put right there.
No, definitely. I mean, Brid there coming out clutch yet again. I think he picked up at least a 2k, maybe even a 3k at the end of that round. So he's sitting pretty on kills at the moment, and he's certainly saying to Spark and a Prox that he can definitely get some kills as well. We're going to see, again, a different bomb site now, because obviously Vitality have won their first 2 rounds. Now, this is where it didn't all go wrong for them last game, because obviously they won the last map. But it's where it started to just shake just a little bit. Executive Lounge and CEO, it's more than viable. It's a good site. But it obviously isn't the first choice at this stage. It's their 3rd pick. So we're going to see, obviously, a little bit of a different setup there. We're going to have Rook switched on, Spark switching on to Rook from the Valkyrie. So we're going to lose a little bit of information. And information is something that I think Vitality have been using very well this, up to this point. But we've got to touch on some of the attackers that we're not seeing. I think, we're not seeing a Glaz, we're not seeing a Ying. There's a couple of attackers here that are pretty crucial that I'd really associate quite heavily with Bank. Glaz has got to be one of them. From the parking garage, you can look over with with obviously the thermal vision scope. You're able to pick out defenders from a decent range. You've got a bit of soft destructibility in there as well. You've got the smoke grenades as well. Again, we're seeing Supremacy bringing a squad that's not got any smoke grenades in it at all. And I'm not sure where they're going with this. We could have a Blackbeard. There's a lot of other options. I feel like they're playing very vanilla operators at the moment.
So it looks like the push will start to come. Tactis is going to get himself up onto the roof, I guess, and probably have a look through that skylight. We've got 3 approaching. It looks like going to be quite a direct approach here towards top floor. Tactis has suggested getting himself onto the rappel and just using that gadget. See if there's any gadgets, any electronics he can pick up inside through the windows, but he needs to be careful. He can always be picked up on that rappel from somebody in main lobby, but it doesn't look like we've got anybody from the Vitality team out there. The drones will start to come in and just see what's happening on site, but I think the Maestro cam just got one down there, and again we're seeing Vitality just sticking around the floor on which they are playing. So Qual is going to keep himself hard into that corner and just Alive, trying to get an angle onto him, but he just can't do that with the Ash, even from the rappel. Now again, Vitality, this is more the site where you would expect them to be able to operate without a roam game necessarily. There is always the potential to keep somebody down in the basement and come for the late rotate up one of the 3 staircases, but it's just a bit more difficult because staircases are just a little bit easier to cover when you're trying to move back up floors. Spark getting the first kill onto Tactis, and that is a nice one, taking him off the rappel there. So great kill once again for Spark. We've seen some great use of the ACOGs from Spark, both on Maestro and now Rook, and he's really coming up clutch for his team today, getting those early important kills and bringing things into his team's favour. 5 versus 4.
We've got Alive going to be pushing his way up the main stairs. A Prox there getting some pretty good shots down onto, I believe it's K6, and does actually manage to clean up that kill. So very quickly there, we've got 2 kills from Vitality, and that's going to take us into a 5 versus 1, I believe, because Anthrax is going to be down in the process. Diju there putting some shots down into Aprox at the bottom of the stairs. Aprox just over peaking that a little bit, probably pretty confident in the man count at this point. But I think Diju is maybe going to be afforded the opportunity to go and revive his teammate, although it is going to be a bit of a risky revive, as I do believe the wall is not going to be open. Zephyr there going to be trying to get some smokes through the wall, but they don't quite manage to stick. The revive is going to come out. We've got 35 seconds left on the clock, so this is more than doable. We've seen these two do this before previously on the last map, but it's going to be a little bit of a taller order this time, just purely because of the amount of stuff they've got open and the amount of control that they haven't got at this stage. Diju going to be holding a pretty tight angle in. I'm not sure if he's aware of Brid on the corridor. Brid really taking his time there and not exposing himself at all. Spark picking up that kill onto Anthrax. Smoke grenades are going to come out, and that's going to deny Diju's push a little bit further. 7 seconds left on the clock, and he's going to be left with no time. Brid making his way around and picking up that final kill out of Janitor's Closet. Another good round on the books for Vitality, and another couple of kills there from Brid.
Again, yeah, Brid just closing out the round. How often have we seen his name popping up in the kill feed as the last name as he finishes things off for his team? But I just want to draw a little bit more focus onto Spark once again there, seeing a very crucially timed kill from Spark. He seems to have this knack, at least tonight, of just getting himself right place, right time, and just getting the pivotal kills, as I think I'll call them. You know, it's 2 versus 4. Supremacy are maybe just feeling like they've managed to get a man picked up. You know, this is doable. Let's just start approaching site. And then instead of losing somebody else, Spark just steps up, bang, gets the kill, and that leaves them in a 1 versus 4 with 15 seconds to go. And that is the point where the round is really over, and Brid moves in and manages to mop things up. Now, interestingly, going back down to lockers and CCTV, have we seen a little bit of a debate coming in from Vitality here? We've got a first round on lockers where they didn't bother bringing mirror, and they held the open area with a vim really, but they didn't actually manage to gain much traction from there. This time they've actually used the 6th pick to bring mirror, so it's going to be reasonable for Supremacy not to be expecting the mirror. We have seen K6 playing the Twitch so far. Now then, we see K6 on the sledge. So is that a little bit of a bait there from the mirror switch, just so that they can play it without too much danger of them getting dropped? Could be a very good move from Vitality here.
I think it's a great little bait and switch. You know, the 3 rounds into it now. K6 has picked Twitch. I think 2 out of these 3, maybe even 3 out of the... No, 2 out of the 3, I believe, he's played Twitch. And at this point, you know, you're looking pretty, you know, you're sitting pretty, you're thinking, you know, they're not going to play the mirror. I'm going to bring a little bit more utility in the sledgehammer and the grenades. And all of a sudden they're going to have a mirror down there to deal with. So it's going to be a good little bit of a mind game there from Vitality, if that's what they were going for, and if we're not maybe just trying to look a little bit too far into it. Some heavy drone work coming out once again. But it looks as though Vitality are going to be playing this very similar to the way they played the last time. They had a couple of guys upstairs. Spark, is going to be playing at the top of blue stairs, which is a very powerful position to be playing. Tactis already entered at the top of square stairs along with K6. So it does look as though we're going to have a heavy blue push coming out. The hatch is reinforced, so that is going to force Anthrax to use one of his thermite charges on that hatch if they do want to get a bit of a watch on the plant or a watch onto the rotation. So Spark really trying to hold this now. Grismop mines are going to get tossed out as grenades come in and remove an ADS and a first Grismop, but he's got a second one in his pocket to take. Tactics going to be hitting the drone there, but this is great because Spark's able to rotate back down pretty freely because he knows that hatch is closed and he's not actually able to be shot from the hatch, so he's able to get himself all the way back down into sight. Qual is going to risk playing in those servers behind the server stack as it does get opened. So I'm not sure if they're going to be aware of Qual's presence at this stage. He has got an ADS down there as well to help him out. And if he just bides his time here, he certainly has got the opportunity to pick up a couple of kills for his team as Supremacy approach through the bottom of server door. He is probably going to get droned out at this point, but now is, you know, he knows he's going to get droned out. He knows the pressure's going to come on him. So all he can do at this stage is really fight his corner. Flash grenades coming out from Diju. Diju is doing a pretty good job. He probably should have followed that up, really, because it's going to give Qual time to readjust. And K6 is going to be pushing him from one side, and he isn't going to manage to pick up the kill. K6 there making sure the SMG-11 is doing the good work. But look at how much time that's wasted. We're only a minute left of the round, and all of a sudden, all they've managed to gain is server control, and that's going to leave all the denial in the hands of Brid and some C4 from Zephyr, ready to deny this plant further.
Spark just dropping himself back on the Ella there, looking to protect that gold corridor area. We're going to have a live trying to work from that open area hatch just to see if he can get a view onto anybody, but Zephyr just sitting in there behind the mirror. Out comes the smoke toss, and how about that? Perfect from Brid, all the way from the locker's site, and he's just going to wait for that to wear off, and if he's got another one left, which he does, he can actually smoke this out for the entire time. Now, I don't think he's just achieved that there. Anthrax managing to get that plant down without being impacted by the smoke, but there comes the second one. Spark and a Prox getting 2 kills, so that leaves us 4 versus 2. Brid's late smoke throw will kill Anthrax as well, so that leaves us now, we're in an effective 3 versus 2 as Dijou gets the kill onto Spark. The diffuser is down, and they are managing to use those hatches now. This is a good attack from Supremacy, and Vitality having to quickly rotate upstairs to see if they can impact this. They've got around 15 to 20 seconds to do something about this, to allow a Prox who is staying downstairs to get himself on to that diffuse. It looks like they're going to start challenging Supremacy now. Will the kill come in? Dijou has got himself locked in there. Tactis gets the kill onto a Prox, so there isn't anybody downstairs to get onto the diffuse anymore, and Hibana will do the work there. Zephyr getting the kill onto Tactis, leaving us 1 versus 1, but too late. No choice for Zephyr but to head for that diffuser, and Dijou will pick up the final pistol shot, and that will be Supremacy's first round. And I think they've done very well to get that attack there. That was a decent defense from Vitality. Wasting 2 minutes from Qual. How about that? That's something Supremacy have got to learn from, to get him rooted out of there quicker than they did. But that being said, as soon as they got him out of there, they made good work of it. Progress through servers, plant down. I think Brid was a little unfortunate on that second smoke toss. What do you think, X?
Yeah, definitely. I was just going to comment on that. The thermite was really close to being within the range of that smoke, but just not, if you know what I mean. And that's one of the things that you kind of get to know as a planter, is you get to know really where that radius and where that area of effect is, and what you need to do to kind of just stay out of it but still be in it if you were. But fantastic job from Anthrax there, getting the plant down, making sure that he was focused on his job. If the smoke grenade was going to kill him, then he was still planting, just so that, I mean, you saw then he got downed as soon as the diffuser went down, and that's the kind of mentality you've got to have as the planter. It may cost you your life in that scenario, but as long as you get the diffuser down, it doesn't really matter. The post plant was absolutely fantastic from Supremacy there. You really can't fault it at all. They obviously had clear plans as to where they were going to go. They opened enough hatches early on in the round to make sure that they had easy rotations and easy angles to watch the post plant from. And I think that it was definitely well deserved for Supremacy. But then again, not really taking anything away from Vitality. It would have been deserved for them as well if they'd managed to clutch it out. But as you could see, the post plant just proving a little bit too strong there. And that's one of the things about Bank. If you start thinking about trying to get back upstairs, you've got a long way to go in some instances to get all the way up into open area, whilst maintaining a level of being quiet, not really giving your position away all too much. But Dijou there in a really weird spot towards the end, just led under that desk in the small office, just looking straight up at the ceiling. But it certainly managed to do the business for him in the end. No reason why Vitality shouldn't be going down there again. It was very close. You can see there that Quality is going to opt for the Valkyrie this time, just for a little bit more information maybe. But Supremacy now know what they need to do. They need to take good control over open area pretty quick. Oh, that isn't going to help them at all. Spark there picking up a nice early kill, just hesitantly going for the finish because someone might be playing in tunnel, but Tactis there throwing his life away pretty early on, and not something you really want the Thatchers to be doing at that stage in the round, just rushing into the bottom of tunnel. It does look as though we've got Anthrax backing him up. Maybe Anthrax on the drone just a little bit late, on the call, or maybe a little bit behind him on the drone, but Spark isn't really going to be all too aware of that just yet. Anthrax probably going to hop in his drone and just figure out what's going on at this stage, because he doesn't really want to push in there, having the diffuser in hand and being the thermite. If he pushes into that and loses his life, it's going to leave Supremacy in a very sticky situation. Spark playing the same angle at the top of blue and just deterring Diju there from pushing in. Elamine is going to be triggered, and that is going to give Spark all the information he needs. That's going to be Anthrax making I think he's making a full rotate out of the tunnel and maybe up to one of the other windows on Repel. We'll have to see where he ends up. K6 there making his way up to elevators, just slowly trying to creep in onto Qual, as Qual is pretty well distracted at this point with the door in open area. Anthrax is going to pick up that kill onto Spark. So despite Spark having the Grismot mine and all the information, Anthrax there managing to take himself off into the tunnel, lose the effects of the Grismot, and come back fighting, picking up that kill. That's a big kill at this stage. 4 versus 4, but again, look how much time has gone off the clock. We've lost 2 minutes of the round. K6 almost certainly going to get shot in the back here by Qual, but Qual just not quite revealing his location all too much. It sounds as though K6 has got the sixth sense there. He's definitely aware that someone's there, but just look at all the angles that are being held by Supremacy at this point. They're just holding a lot of angles and waiting for rotations from Vitality, and Vitality just aren't giving them the rotations. They're just holding their angles that they've got already, that they're already comfortable in holding. Alive, they're going to pick up a kill onto Brid. We've seen how crucial Brid's late round ability has been, so that's a big loss at this stage of Prox, trading it out onto Anthrax. Thermite off the board, K6 picking up one, Alive picking up another. All of a sudden we're left with Zephyr in a 1 versus 3 situation. He does manage to get the first down and the first kill onto Diju, but the diffuser has gone down. He's in a good position to watch this diffuser here, but it does look as though the team of Supremacy aren't going to give up that position, and they're going to hold themselves back in the other bomb site and wait for Zephyr to push in. Zephyr on very low health at this point as well, so it's not looking all too good for him, although K6 and Alive are both around half health as well, so it's a fairly even health distribution that we're looking at, although Zephyr is going to be on the lower end of that scale. He's not got a lot of time to be able to be looking for these kills in this way, and this is a really good idea of how they've split up, because they're able to make Zephyr play for one of the kills and then another one of the kills, and it's just ultimately going to waste the clock all too much. Does manage to pick up one, but impactless at this stage. Supremacy again with a very good post-plant strategy.
Yeah, I think Vitality just switching it up, going back to the no mirror play that they were successful with the first time that they went to lockers, but I just can't say it as I'm a huge fan of it personally. They had 3 players playing up in open area, and I know the theory, you can use the hatches, you can rotate back to side, but those 3 players, what impact did they really have on the match there? The kill early on came from Spark, which was down in server anyway, and the open area just didn't really have too much impact. Essentially just left 3 operators off site, so once Brid got cleared on site, they just moved in and put the diffuser down. And I think it's one of them sites where you just need a few more and a bit more utility on site. So often we see the mirror holds down there, and that's where we generally see the success of holding that site, the smoke mirror combo, and then maybe having a couple of roamers upstairs, rather than setting yourself up almost to anchor upstairs. It was almost a case of anchoring themselves into open area, but not too much of a surprise to see them back upstairs again now, just moving away, having lost that one twice on the bounce.
Yeah, obviously they're going to want to come out of this phase on top. This is obviously Vitality's first defensive phase, and this is the last round of that. So they did win upstairs fairly convincingly, and like you say, no surprise really to see them going back up here just to kind of secure this last round before they switch it up onto defense. And I can only agree with what you say, and I think playing the players in open area is all well and good, but as we've seen, lockers isn't a very retakeable site. Once the plant's gone down and players, that rotation up blue stairs and up to the hatch in the bottom of square stairs is so easy to get to as an attacker that once the plant's gone down, you're able to get all the way up there, and all of a sudden you're roaming throughout the map. You can get back to the hatches, and the post plant is relatively easier to watch, compared to other bomb sites in Siege. So it's a difficult bomb site to kind of give up and then try and retake as a defender, and maybe that's where Vitality are just falling foul a little bit on those previous 2 round losses. But we've got Alive going to be holding a pretty long angle there on the main lobby, just trying to pick off a Prox at the top of elevator stairs, but not all too aware of his presence up there just yet, as a Prox has dropped down and made his way into lobby. So Alive with the holographic, not really something that you would see, playing that long angle. You usually expect an ACOG player to be playing up on that angle, but the holographic on the R4C is all that Alive is going to have at his disposal. So again, another fairly slow round from Supremacy. Although, having said that, Aproc's going to pick up a kill onto Alive. So I think Alive rotated off there and got killed at the main lobby door. Bit unfortunate really. Would have probably been better to watch that angle for longer, but like I say, maybe a little bit too difficult with only the ACOG. The wall into CEO is going to get breached open. Kasik's going to pick up that kill onto Aprox as he was down in the bottom of open area, I believe. And ultimately, this is looking fairly back and forth at this stage as we do lead into a 4 versus 4 with around a minute left on the clock.
Dijou just looking to head towards those stock windows there and maybe just get himself in and start to gain some control. But they're going to have to deal with these roamers. They've got Brid and Zephyr downstairs. Brid will make an absolute nuisance of himself if they try to repel and start to push those windows. And there's the kill from Zephyr onto K6, proving the effectiveness of those roamers playing underneath. And it's something they're going to have to deal with. 3 staircases leading back upstairs. Brid, the second roamer, and the second kill. And Anthrax will get the kill onto Spark in sight. Dijou starts to deal with those roamers with a kill onto Zephyr. That leaves us in a 2 versus 2. And Anthrax is going to start to get this plant down. Qual, I think, knows that that's happening. And he will start to put some shots in. How will this go? Brid gets the kill onto Anthrax. Dijou onto Qual. So that leaves us now in a 1 versus 1. This is going to come down to a gun battle. I think, is Brid going to get himself on the defuse? Can he make this stick? Dijou doesn't know that he's doing it. Oh, and he moves away. He tries to fake. Dijou's ready for it, and kiss bang bang. That is a round 2 Supremacy. Great plays from Dijou there to keep his calm, nice and collected, do exactly what was needed.
Dijou and Anthrax are really becoming the sort of clutch duo of Supremacy. They're often finding themselves in those 2 versus X situations in the final seconds of the round, and just coming out clutch there for the team. I think that's a round that really Vitality could have won. Maybe if the diffuser was stuck just that little, the few more seconds. It was planted in a fairly protected location from a defender point of view, from being able to just sit there and kind of have the protection of the solid wall behind you. And I know there was a couple of hard breaches that were open and stuff, but ultimately I think that maybe just slipped away from Vitality a little bit there, but not taking anything away from Supremacy. They're coming out fighting. And are we going to see a draw? Attackers need to locate. Could be.
Absolutely could be. Supremacy definitely here to play, bringing that 3-0, and they now get themselves onto the defence. But obviously it's largely going to come down to, once again, what can they do differently? They've 6 picked out of the mirror and brought the Pulse. Now we all know how powerful Pulse can be on this particular objective. Get the Pulse into Gold Vault. He's pretty safe in there, and he can feed back an absolute ton of information about any blue stairs approach, any potential plants from server. So, yep, no surprise to see the Pulse being chosen by Alive there. We're going to see, I think, quite a bit of utility just applied to the upper floors again, probably the open area sort of region, and also the Valkyrie getting some cams out as well from Anthrax up on the top floor. So certainly wanting to play this as a full map hold rather than just staying on site. But Zephyr coming in with the Glaz this time. I'm surprised that we haven't seen a Glaz pick so far without the bans coming out for him. So quite interesting there to see how Zephyr's going to be able to bring this to bear, possibly get in there, get the smokes down. I think they may be expecting the mirror because there was 6 picked out of, thinking get down there, get the smokes out just to assist the plant and take Mirror's head off if she tries to peek, but that is obviously not going to be the case.
Yeah, I think, like you say, offering only bringing the Glaz at this stage. Obviously, this is the Vitality's first attacking streak, so this is always in their plan to maybe bring the Glaz. But yeah, maybe a bit of an oversight from Supremacy not bringing the Glaz earlier. And it is something that I commented on a couple of rounds ago. But it's always good to see, like you say, that server push can be pretty crucial. And when you've got smokes on the table, when you've got an operator like Glaz available, who is often banned out on Bank, it's always better to bring them. But again, the bans have been a little bit weird. Like you say, we've seen Mirror not banned in either match, yet hardly picked as well. So it's is she proving maybe not as critical and as crucial as everyone so thinks? Oh, it looks as though Anthrax is going to get caught in cams there by Qual, and I wonder if the Ash is maybe going to try and take a little bit of advantage of that situation. Alive going to be holding, as you say, in the server room, just making sure that he knows where the push is going to be coming from and feeding information back to his team. The hatch into server room is going to be open. C4 toss comes out and it does stick. He gets the kill onto a Prox. That's going to cause a pretty big problem at this stage, because the thermite being off the board is going to mean that Hibana is going to have to rotate back down off the hatches if they are trying to get a plant down in the usual spot. Alive picking up another one onto Zephyr, and Diju picking up one onto Qual. Spark trading it back out for his team, getting a kill onto K6 and picking up another one onto Alive. Very quickly we've brought ourselves into a 3 versus 2 in favour of Supremacy, and I think that Vitality have lost a hell of a lot of ability in those final 30 or so seconds, as the wall is open now by Brid. The wall has been left soft, so the Zafira has been able to make short work of that, but there's still going to be a lot of smoke potential for denying this plant. You can see there the first canister coming out. It does look as though it's a little bit too long, but Brid getting himself out of there anyway, not wanting to risk it. Does pick up a a Claymore kill in the process for his troubles, taking us into a 2 versus 2. Second canister came out and in fact missed. Third canister coming out right about now. 13 seconds left on the clock. I think that Brid is still sticking the defuse, although he does come off it momentarily for a second. Tactis just trying to get some kills in, but Spark picking up 1 kill behind the bomb. Spark picking up another kill onto Anthrax. I think Spark got a 4K that round. What a great round from Vitality.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He started to push himself into sight, picked up a double as he was on his way there, and then just picked up the double to cover his Oppo's back. Brid getting the diffuser down, and he picks up 1 kill as they approach, and then a second as they try to challenge it again. So great plays from Spark again, just to give his team maybe the boost that they needed. They've just lost a couple of rounds on the bounce, so I think they just needed that to get the momentum back and push themselves towards that match point. But that will leave us 4 versus 3. Look at that from Brid, 9 and 3. Great plays so far, and we're going to see this site come out again without a mirror, so going to be a similar defense, I would have thought. Again, I think those roamers probably just need to have a little bit more impact, but that was certainly won by Vitality and not lost by Supremacy there. Great early plays. How about them plays from Alive? Gets the Nitro kill and then gets the second kill onto Glaz with Pulse. More than you can ask for from Alive. So absolutely did his job there, but just didn't prove quite enough come the end.
Yeah, like you say, the early kills were all well and good. Oh, Tatsis there just messing up his impact throw a little bit, and that isn't going to do him any favours. I think he's got the FMG as well instead of the shotgun, so that's going to cause quite a big problem at this point, as there won't be any other impacts or shotguns on the team to be able to assist that. Maybe going to have to waste a Nitro cell to get one of those rotations so that it's vaultable. Little bit of a miss site there, but yeah, back to the round. I think, like you say, some fantastic work done early on by Supremacy, but ultimately Spark coming out of the clutch at the end on Hibana, just clutching it out for his team. So not really too much of a surprise that we've gone back down. It was fairly close, but I think that this is a good time for Vitality to take that momentum, because up to this point, that's the first round that they've won in the past 3. So they're not doing all too, they lost 3 on the bounce fairly convincingly from Supremacy. Supremacy did a great job of picking up 3 rounds in a row, so I think Vitality have kind of got to take this momentum and run with it a little bit. You can see there in Qual's movement, he's desperate to get some entry kills. He's checking all of his corners, and he's got his teammate Brid doing some good drone work for him as well, just to ensure that this top floor is clear, and going to give them the ability to push down onto main stairs, open area, wherever they so wish. Brid picked up a great Claymore kill last round as well, so I'm pretty sure that we're going to be seeing the Claymore get placed out yet again.
You know me, I'm a big fan of those Claymore kills. I think, like you say, once defenders start to rush, that is when accidents happen, and they don't just keep themselves quite as focused as maybe they should. We even saw Fabian get caught out at DreamHack yesterday with a Claymore for anybody who watched that game. Anthrax on the Valkyrie then is just going to be holding a tight angle there. See, you've got a couple of tight angles being held with a little murder hole through as well, just to see if they can pick up any of those early kills. But DJuice is just going to move himself upstairs and then dip back down again. He's just putting the warning shots out there, letting them know, there you go. They're not going to want to rush those stairs too heavily now, and that's sometimes the last thing that you want. DJuice just moving himself down, getting into garage as well. Sometimes, you know, that reverse push from garage and the garage side stairs can be very, very difficult to manage. If you're watching the server side and all of a sudden you find one or two in behind you from elevator stairs, it can get deadly very, very quickly. Looks like Zephyr is going to take the drop. Anthrax will move up and get the first kill for Supremacy onto Qualdo. That brings us to 5 versus 4. Glaz does drop the elevator as Zephyr. Spark will move out. Are we going to see we are going to see a plant attempt from Spark here, but they are certainly aware. Anthrax gets the kill onto Brid. Aprox trades that back out alive onto Aprox. It's all going on now. A bit of a bloodbath down in the lockers. We see Spark has been down, but he did get the diffuser down and it's stuck. Tactis will get in and get on the diffuse though, and Spark is down, so that will be that for that round, and Supremacy take the win. 4 rounds apiece now, and this match is way, way closer than I thought it was going to be.
I think it's all down to the way that Vitality played their defensive rounds. They didn't play in the way that we anticipated because we'd seen a very good roam on Clubhouse. They didn't seem to roam all too well. They kind of came out of it, I think it was 3-3, so you know, it was just a little bit different to as we were expecting. And now Supremacy have got a bit of confidence. They've started to chain some rounds together. Like I said, up to that round, they'd won 3 in a row. Then Vitality picks one up, and then all of a sudden, Supremacy are back out on top. So, you know, interesting to see the way that it's all playing out. I think Supremacy are doing a great job at this stage of not really giving too much away. They're not playing all too aggressively. They're playing some aggression when needed. But ultimately, that last round, I think Vitality just tried a little bit of an off push, which didn't seem to work out as they anticipated it. It's not a push that you see all the time. And, you know, maybe that's the reason for it. You kind of commit all the guys to drop in elevator and tell us hatch. And all of a sudden, it's, you know, it gets very easy for players like Smoke to kind of deny that, and you can see the amount of hit points that I think it was Spark. I think Spark was the one that lost a lot of hit points running through the smoke to try and get the plant down. And you can just see how it kind of all gets, you know, all sort of snowballs from there, really. So no surprise that we're going to go upstairs to CEO. Although I do believe that office tellers would have been available for him. That mirror there is going to be looking out onto the garage, and no doubt Zephyr's going to be taking up position there on the Glaz. You can see there alive, just spamming the Valkyrie cameras, trying to get that information out there for his team, and just throwing them out there and seeing what'll stick, I think.
Yeah, interesting to see what Vitality do here. I feel like the last round was, like you say, it was an alternative attempt. It's an unusual push. I think the big negative there was they rushed it. You know, they just tried to, I think, force Spark into sight. I can only imagine that it wasn't fully droned before he did that, given the speed at which they did it, because there was a Supremacy operator in there as well. We nipped round the corner and just got him down straight away after the diffuser went down. And I think, yeah, just a little bit rushed. But we're going to see now a top floor hold coming from Supremacy. And then once again, they're in the position whereby if they can pick this up, they put themselves, you know, with the possibility of pushing themselves in front for the first time in the match. We saw them do that last time out, and they did struggle and fail to capitalise on it. But DJuice just holding himself here tight up at the top of these spiral stairs. Just, you know, in that, he's got his deployable shield out, but in comes the Hibana onto that mirror. Going to take it out. It forces him away, and Aprox well positioned from Vitality. How's about that for an example of teamwork? Hibana just forcing DJuice away from that mirror, and Aprox just stood on the small skylight ready to take advantage. Zephyr just on the rappel on those windows, ready to just take the head off anybody who decides to peek. And meanwhile, Supremacy now looking to hold their angles and hold tight on site. Castle just in behind the desk. Out comes the flashbang, but it won't have the impact I think it needs to. Qual not really following that in, and Aprox with him, but they haven't made too much progress. So it's important to follow those flashbangs in. At the end of the day, you're trying to take advantage of the fact that the enemy can't see. they put the resources in, potential might burn ADSs, etc. But they've not really gained anything from those flashbangs in that case. In comes another one. Alive getting the kill onto Zephyr now, bringing us to 4 versus 4. Supremacy holding very well here. Very stoic, very difficult to move. Spark getting the kill onto Alive, and 45 seconds left. Vitality need to think about how and where this plant is going to go down.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, they're going to have to start working toward this plant now. They've got the man advantage moving into this, but Supremacy well positioned to pick up some trades at this point. Tactis there making his way on the roam, just going to pick up a couple of kills, no doubt. But Qual picking up one, and a Prox picking up another one, taking this to a 1 versus 4. Brid there, not really knowing which operator to shoot first, as Tactis there is going to fall in those final seconds. And another good round. You can't really take anything away from that, really. I think Vitality are coming out a little bit stronger now, and they're saying, you're going to win a round, but we're going to win a round as well. And ultimately, I feel like this one's going to maybe even go to overtime, or it's really going to get wrapped up, because we're currently sat at 4-5. We've seen both teams do a great job of winning, both locations. We're going to choose to go back upstairs to Executive Lounge and CEO. And I'm really interested to see why we're not seeing Supremacy now maybe change it up and go down to office tellers.
Yeah, it certainly suggests that it's a site that they're not necessarily comfortable with or don't like for whatever reason. As you say, just coming straight back up, I don't really see what they're going to do too much differently. We've got the Rook, we've got the Mirror. If Rook tries to play in that same location again, all I can see is that the same thing's going to happen. They're going to open up the Mirror with the Hibana. He's going to have to move away. And whichever way he rotates, they had glass on the windows. So if he rotates towards Spiral, he gets taken out from the glass. And then they had a man up on the skylight. So if he rotates back past elevators, he gets taken out from there. So they're really going to have to bring something different to the table here. The setup last time allowed Vitality to quite early into the round pin them back into sight, and then it was just sort of a matter of time really as the ring got reduced in size from Vitality, and they just brought that pressure inch by inch in and got the kills. So they really do need to show us something different here to Supremacy.
Yeah, this is really a big round for Supremacy, because we've seen the way that Vitality are able to manipulate the pressure in the game. Obviously, we did go to overtime last map, so we did see some switching of the attack and defending sides later on. But we've seen the way that Vitality really put it on the team that they're playing to make the decisions and make the push. Now, if they do win this round, they're going to be on match point, and it will be their turn to attack. So the pressure will be on them to a degree. But I think that they're sitting in a pretty good position at this point. But if you're in Supremacy's shoes, you've got to be looking at this and thinking, we really need to win this round. Because if they win this round, then they can go back downstairs to lockers, and all of a sudden it becomes a little bit of a different story. Zephyr there going to be on the rappel, and you can see there just how easy that is. Hibana is going to open up the Mirror. Zephyr's going to pick up the kill onto Jews as he makes his way out of harm's way. And within 45 seconds of the round, that's Rook dealt with, an ACOG off the board, the Mirror window now useless, and all of a sudden, all that side of the map and all the windows are a lot safer to maneuver on, play off, rotate around. And that map control that Vitality have gained at this stage is only going to do them favours the further that we get into this round.
Absolutely, as predicted. I literally do not know what Supremacy thought was going to be different about that situation. They put the Jews back into exactly the same spot behind the Mirror, and the thing is, using the same tactic, no, it doesn't always work. But my point with that is, how are you going to stop that? If you've got a man up on Skylight, that is extremely dangerous to challenge. It's a massive uphill fight. Challenging those windows with Hibana and Glaz, again, extremely dangerous. So how do you stop them doing it? Here come the kills. Spark and Zephyr getting 2 of their own, leaves us in a 2 versus 5. Brid gets 1 versus 5. Anthrax is now left on his own. And honestly, I really don't know what Supremacy expected to happen differently there. There was no real difference in the setup. They just tried the same thing again and found the same result. And I can't say that I'm surprised.
I never like getting on a player's case too much, and I think that everything that we say is coming from like an analysis and like a very much, just what we're seeing in front of us sort of standpoint. So this really isn't a dig. However, I think that, and by the way, I think we've had a little bit of word that Dijous is actually pronounced like Jews. I think it's like a quiet, soft D. So I do apologise if we've been saying that wrong for most of the evening. But I think that Jews is finding himself a little bit predictable. We saw it on Clubhouse, where he was liking to play the castles up in the main area near the main hatch, in the bar area, sorry. And he played that pretty much every defending round. Now, it worked okay, did pretty good. But there we've seen CEO exactly the same system used for both defensive rounds in a row. And I just don't know that that's... I think you've got to have a little bit more in your arsenal at this level to just say, I'm going to play the same thing again because it kind of worked last time, or it could have worked if this had changed. I think you've got to be a little bit more, unpredictable, if you will, because teams will quickly get onto that and they'll quickly start using that tendency and using that player tendency as something that they're going to directly target, and all of a sudden it opens up the board just a little bit. I don't think maybe playing that was as good of an idea last round as it maybe was the first round, because ultimately he did lose his life to it fairly quickly, and it was kind of the entry for Vitality to take a lot of control and a lot of control over the top garage area with Glaz, and ultimately it gave them the round. So it'll be interesting to see what we see differently here. We are going to be moving on to match point for Vitality, because this isn't going to be one, it isn't going to be a round that they're going to want to squander all too much. We've got there Qual going to be making his way up to the main door, just making sure that no one is playing around in the main lobby. As is the Vitality way, they do like to take good upstairs control and work down from there. We've seen some fantastic post-plant examples from Supremacy when they were on their attacking phase, and I think the Vitality could certainly... I think everyone could take a little bit of a lesson from that, and just how to watch this post plant when you're downstairs in lockers, because the way that Supremacy did it was flawless.
So 50-50 in defending lockers so far. Supremacy have won one, lost one. Fair to say, though, the Vitality win that we did see on this site did take a Spark through 4K it was, if you remember. A fantastic round from Spark, but a great individual performance, and that's not always replicable in Siege, I think it's fair to say. So Vitality definitely going to come out and do something different to what they did last time, which was drop the elevator hatch and try to rush in and get that lockers plant down, which just didn't really do the job. But as we can see there, they're already gaining quite a bit of upstairs control. The closest that we've got to Aroma really is K6 on blue, and I think, the hatches are going to start going now, and the pressure needs to start being applied. They don't want to leave this too late, Vitality. We're going to see Thermite just opening up the hatch. K6 keeping himself up on blue there. He's got his shield, he's got his Jaegers. He's going to be difficult to root out of there. If somebody drops hatch into server, he's going to find himself very, very quickly cut off. Now, Alive is watching that, so that is probably going to be quite a pivotal point here. If Alive can keep that hatch safe, Zephyr getting the kill onto Dijous, and then gets the kill onto Alive, and now things are going to get dangerous, because we've got the Ella of K6 also just out on his own now. He's out on a limb, he's getting pinched from both sides. Absolutely clinical from Vitality. Brid coming in with the kill onto K6. That leaves us in a 2 versus 5. Anthrax and Tactis have got it all to do now, and we have got all 5 operators available. Smoke clutching that toxic bay with D alive, and he's just waiting to toss that out in case the plant comes down. But honestly, I don't think the plant is really the problem at this point. 30 seconds to go, and the bullets are going to start raining in. Vitality are going to be looking for at least one of those last 2 kills. They've got the first one of them. Spark gets the kill onto Anthrax, and that leaves us in a 1 versus 5. Tactics manages to get one with his Toxic Bay, but it is all for sure as Qual moves in and gets the final kill. That will be the second map going to Vitality. And I've got to feel a little bit for Supremacy there. They put up a heck of a fight, but Vitality come out on top.
Yeah, fantastic job from Vitality there. Really clutching out and doing what it needed at some points. It was certainly looking like it could have gone another way, and it was certainly looking like it could have been a draw. Supremacy did a fantastic job of chaining rounds together. They had 3 rounds in a row on that map on Bank, but as you can see from the scoreboard there, they only got 4 in total, so they really seemed to struggle when they lost a round to kind